Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures. Little change so far this morning, coming off the best single day performance for the NASDAQ since November. Yesterday, huge rally yesterday. We almost got up to 4.5%, even 4.8% at one point. Big rally coming after a week-long sell-off that we've seen with tech stocks, growth names heading to the downside as the 10-year Treasury and interest rates a bit of a problem. We have a 10-year bond auction coming up later this afternoon at 1 p.m. So the market will be paying close attention to that. The 10-year around 1.54 at the end of the day yesterday. We got up to 1.6 again early on this morning. So we'll see what happens here going into today's session. CPI number coming out any moment now. We'll talk about that. Consumer price index going to be a bit of a inside look as far as inflation is concerned. It's Roblox day. Obviously, we're going to be discussing Roblox in depth. Direct listing coming to the New York Stock Exchange today. RBLX, the ticker symbol, and GameStop back to the upside again this morning. What a move this thing continues to have. It's Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And then we're going to look at North American markets at this point this morning. We're seeing, little change here. We have the NASDAQ back in negative territory, 0.3%. The Dow offsetting that, 0.3% higher. S&P basically flat. TSX futures here in Toronto, pretty flat to start as well. You can see Bitcoin to the upside again this morning, 2.4%, 0.8% for crude. Gold in negative territory. Just having a look at this CPI number here, plus 0.4%. Versus plus 0.3% number that was expected. There it is again, guys. We've been showing you this waiting for us for the past few days here. We're ever so close to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second and hit the subscribe button. We get to enjoy that, but only if we get to 200,000, guys. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's an exciting day. It's Roblox Day. We've been kind of waiting for this for the past month or so, ever since it was announced. Coming today, 30 billion valuation on Roblox.
Yeah, a big one, of course, direct listing versus IPO, which we'll probably get into a little bit, of course. Welcome to Hump Day. Welcome to the NASDAQ approaching yesterday's top levels, the 12.8 here. Obviously, you can't get away from the bond auction, and certainly CPI is going to matter because inflation has been one of the worries, and lower numbers there than anticipated are going to cause some of the tech names, some of the higher valuation names to rally. I would say that that set of conditions a little more positive for something like a Roblox when they open up, right? If we actually, had gone the other way here and we're tech heading to the downside, we'd probably be looking at maybe a little bit less exuberance. I don't know how much it's going to matter either way. We're going to look at that live as long as we can get that open. Should be an exciting one. There's lots on the move. Tesla just broke the high. GameStop is at 277 and actually touched $10 higher than that. So exciting hump day here, Sean.
It's gonna be a big day here, and it's already starting off as we'll just do a little walk on water right now as we go long on AMC here. We picked up some 11.15s there and out 11.20 and change. So we'll just see if this wants to run higher. A lot of you asked for the post-it note. It's already getting tons of love there on Twitter. Some saying it needs its own segment. I disagree. But here it is, guys, up on Twitter. We put some of our post-it notes, and everyone loving the fact that, I'm as transparent with some of these levels as can be. So here it is. It's a whole bunch there. You can look at it. We also have our watch list. Obviously, what everybody should be subscribing to daily is the Trader TV watch list. It's completely free, and it's up on this lovely website of ours. Come on here, tradertv.com. Sorry, tradertv.live will take you here, and then a whole bunch happening. The watch list simply up here. Click that. We'll open it up, and There it is, the watch list. But wow, look what the NASDAQ right here just going off. Oh, CPI right now. We'll get that from Brendan, but CPI energy prices up 3%, food prices 2%. Wowzers. Yeah, okay. So about having a red day today, that has changed. And yeah, big moves happening already. Some of these levels I wrote down may not be good anymore. Wow. Big time move to the upside there. We're getting excited already.
Yeah, I can show you this number, guys, at 8:30. We got the CPI data month over month for February, as I mentioned, in line with expectations, 0.4 versus 0.4. It looks like the core number was a little bit less than expected, 1.3 versus 1.4. Again, that's for the month of February. So everybody paying close attention to inflation at this point. So consumer price is going to be a big indicator in that category. Before we get into anything else, let's take a second and get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brendan, and hey guys, I wish you a great, profitable trading day. Please don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's indeed get it started, guys. Lots to talk about in the next hour. Again, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second and subscribe. Guys, we do this every single morning. When the market is open, we come on at 8:30, give you an hour head start heading towards the open. So hit the like and subscribe, guys. Let's talk about GameStop. Let's talk about AMC moving again this morning in the pre-market. Huge moves in the afternoon yesterday. I came in, sat down this morning. GameStop was $291, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to GameStop in a quick second because GameStop just came back down to 275. Go cover AMC because I know that's a bit of a move through the top right now, Sean.
Yeah. No, I mean, nothing's really happening.
Okay.
I mean, there is a move, but it's nothing. We got as high as 1170. What I wrote down on the sheet was $11 on the post-it note there to see if we can hold that $11 mark, just a psychological level. We take advantage. Sometimes AMC, obviously, if the market's going up like this and we get a little bump up there, we will take some out. So we're long 11.15. We parked our order there early. I like that level. I don't know, just 15 cents ahead of 11 makes sense to me. And then we got some out there, 11.30, 11.20. I think 28 was our best out. So the risk reward is there. We're out of a little bit. And yeah, it just makes sense to me. I have a whole bunch of names coming on here. I mean, look at AMD as well. AMD was a buy. It's not on my list, but again, like this is why I think it's important you follow and talk about it, because I bought AMD the other day. I think 74? Or I can't remember the low, but it was just a couple days ago, 74. We picked up some AMD. That's moving to the north side now as well. And then you know what? Like one of my best buys, and I didn't even get it at a cheap price. I got it at 212, was Square. And right now, Square making moves to the upside. And you guys know why, I know why, and we all love it because it's kicking again. If you know what I'm gonna say, put it in the chat, because right now, it's crypto carnage time to the upside. Anybody short crypto, get out. 56.2 right now, approaching all-time highs of 58. We're going to be hitting that probably today as it just continues to go up. And again, one of my tweets that I gave out not too long ago was that bottom at 43. We talked about that over and over and over again. Some of you hopefully saw that. It was right, it's hard to see now, but it was right back here a couple Sundays ago. We talked about 43, 44,000, and then today you wake up and Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, even though we're just getting started with crypto. 56.2 right now, and Ether touching 1842, and Mike Cardano 118. It was 112 yesterday. We'll take a little bit of a 6% bump there. But yeah, we're excited for crypto. We're excited for stocks. The market giving back a little bit. But hey, that was, you know what? The NASDAQ, Neil, yesterday was almost up 5%
Monster move.
At one point. I mean, closed at 4. But wow, the moves in some of those stocks were unbelievable. We had an amazing day yesterday, and we'll see if we can repeat again.
Were it not for having the Treasury auction a little bit later on today, and then of course CPI number, I would have just assumed we get a little bit of a pullback either way. And we actually have we have a key for this one next time we go crazy about crypto, because those are Bitcoins there. And for Thomas Brady, I don't believe you that you're shorting Bitcoin. Just my 2 cents. Maybe you're right. Quickly to go back to GameStop, there is a level, and again, I'm only going to show you this because 3 times 273 randomly here in the pre-market before jumping off and getting to the 291 that Brendan talked about. GameStop bounced, and then a couple of times here again in the pre-market bouncing off at 273. We've certainly seen when tech would go down, GameStop would extend some of these rallies. This gap up I'm going to be looking for if we break that level of momentum short into like a 273 on GameStop at the open, but we're almost an hour away from the open, so it's a lot of time for lots of that to change, and of course eyeballs will be on that 300 if we ever get there for potential breakout trade, Brennan.
It's Wednesday. Let's bring in Mark Roberts from Sun Lake Strategies, president of Sun Lake Strategies, to talk a little bit about what is happening in the overall market. Good morning, Mark. An interesting start here once again. So this number comes out kind of in line with expectations, but more importantly, what are your thoughts, I guess, going into this auction coming up this afternoon as far as the 10-year is concerned?
Well, the 10-year right now is in this 1.5 to 1 5/8 or 1.62 area. I was looking for 1.62 some weeks ago as a topping point. You may stretch a little higher, but I think you're in that love zone, if you will, where everything is expected. Again, I go back to what I originally said some weeks ago, that higher rates are because the economy is starting to turn its switch back on, whether it's Disney with the game parks, whether it's restaurants coming back in full force. Friends of mine in Miami, you can't even get a reservation for a restaurant. The streets are packed. This is what's going on. And the governors that are aggressive are seeing the benefits, and those that are holding back are trying to figure out what to do.
So what do we take then from if this auction happens this afternoon and there is still very, very high demand for this? I was reading overnight that in Japan, the 10-year is 0.04%. So if there is still demand for this auction coming up this afternoon, what does that mean?
These things work off of arbitrages and currency. This is a question of repositioning one's book. It would not be surprising if the Japanese come in. They're probably, if I'm not incorrect, the largest holder of our treasuries and have been for some time. The Saudis and the like came out of those big numbers. The Chinese had been selling many, many months ago. So the Japanese are big winners here.
Let's talk about the, I guess, elephant in the room, if you will, yesterday. What a rally we saw. Was this, and I speak of tech stocks, obviously, and some of these growth names coming back to life a little bit. Was this just a much needed bounce, or is there something more to this?
No, it's a much needed bounce. This should go on for maybe a few days. I would be fading this in a very calculated way, not just dumping shorts out or pruning, but pick your levels, take some off the table, and reset the book.
All right, let's get specific then. As far as anything, making a bounce over the next couple of days, individual names that you're looking at.
Most of the semiconductors, ADI and the like. Personally, I missed NVIDIA on the dip by $1, and it ran 33 yesterday. So there's aggressive either short covering or buying. But this will go on for another day or two, and then they'll reset and come back in. Whether they come back in the full amount, that's unclear. What I do know or feel is that inflation will kick in fairly hard in the second half of the year.
It's almost unfair, I think, to talk about a price for Tesla, but a 20% jump yesterday for the stock. What do we take away from that, and how do we look at the next couple of sessions here?
Well, this is also a lot of branding that's going on. The ARK funds were aggressive buyers at the bottom. Everybody talks their book when they're selling or they're buying. But at this point, I would imagine you'll see some levels closer to that $720 area again before you may want to start to fade on Tesla once more.
Hey, Mark, how's it going, my friend?
Good morning.
Good. Hey, good morning to you, too. We've been going back and forth a little bit. I know you sent me a couple emails about the Roblox IPO. A lot of kids hyped up about this. Obviously, a lot of our viewers probably even have played Roblox. I know I have, joining my little ones playing that game. It's going to be an exciting one. It's a direct listing with no lockup period at all. I have AMC up right now. We just took a beautiful long down there, 11.15, and now out as it's starting to move to the upside. A big win right now for that. So we'll give some props to everybody trading AMC. But here's what RBLX looks like on our screen right now. It's not open yet, obviously. Reference price is going to be $45. I'm a little nervous about going long, as I've mentioned to you, because of the fact that Roblox, unlike Palantir, no lockup period for this. So they're valued just recently at $30 billion with a $45 opening price expected, or reference price expected. Are you, and again, we've been going on this, but are you hearing anything? Like, I'm getting a little nervous that some of these early investors, there's a couple of hedge funds and whatnot that are involved in this, that have been in early, may sell off open just because there is no lockup period. And with a direct listing, as we know, Mark, it's just current shares that are flooding the market. It's not an IPO process where they do price discovery and they figure out, where the buyers and sellers are, create a whole bunch of new shares and then list them. This is current direct listing process. So Annie's opinion here on Roblox for our wonderful viewers and for me too?
I would imagine you'll see some hedge funds coming out. I would imagine you'll see some retail buying coming in. And the question is, who has the bigger punch into that 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock time frame? This will be very volatile, especially with the tech bounce that you've seen.
Right.
My guess is you can buy a little bit on the fades and trade it, but just be nimble that you don't get one of these pressure dips. Everybody panics, and then who's ever left is just buying the heck out of it and taking it back all the way. So It'll be very volatile.
Yeah, no, good advice there. And I think that I'll be taking the opening print and then looking to get out, as fast as I can, as we've discussed. GameStop, before I let you go, just quickly again here, we'll get some ideas if there's any names that you think we should be looking at today that maybe we don't often look at. That would be good. But for right now, AMC yesterday, a nice move off of 9 up to 11 basically, and then today in the pre-market we get 11.90, and then on a daily chart. This is the thing about AMC. I was talking about it down here. I mean, similarly to when GameStop, was near $50 or so. It kind of formed a base, and I sort of thought that, even if we go back to September before all this kind of started, $6, $7 was the high. And that was my initial thought when getting some of these $2 calls and buying some shares down here at $2, that this 6 or 7 seemed to be like a reopen area. Like if we got a lot of, good feels about this reopen, that we could maybe get to 6 or 7. I think that that's probably close to fair value. Who knows what fair value is these days, but $6 held, and now we're off to the races again. AMC looks like it's going to break 12. I'm already long right here, and then it's I guess its brother, GameStop, also making new moves. I never thought we'd see this mark back to 300 again, but we're there, and GameStop moving around. Obviously, this is not on valuation. It's on momentum and some of the things that we see out there on the World Wide Web. But any thoughts on GameStop or AMC or Bed Bath & Beyond or any of these names here for some of our traders besides tread carefully? Because I think that we're all going to be looking at this with a fine tooth comb here.
Well, let's take a step back. AMC is in a different class than the GME,
right?
Because GameStop now has Chewy's gentleman who's now going to help their company into the next level. That's very bullish. So on dips, GameStop now starts to look like an emerging company that's trying to do the right things from coming out of a quote-unquote bankrupt type company. Okay. So that's all good. AMC is a reopening play now with Disney, with restaurants, with everything else starting. They're talking about the date for Broadway to open in New York City.
Right.
AMC is a buy on dips. I mean, this is now a different play than just the Reddit crowd or whoever was pushing the levels to 20. So I'm looking for a range of 12 to 17 to trade this again. Once you break that 11.5, and you're right, that 6 level is the clusters.
Yep.
So you can really trade this on a wide base and make a lot of money.
Ooh, a lot of money. That gets everybody's ears perked up there. We will hopefully be able to do that soon, as I said. But I think you got to wait for it to pull back a little bit. I was very, very interested there. I didn't think you would say that about GameStop, that, maybe the company is legitimately, I mean, it's Ryan Cohen, obviously, from like you mentioned, from Chewy fame. But I mean, Mark, like honestly, this is 10x now, right? Like we are at reasonably 20, 30, 40 maybe. I mean, what everybody knew about Ryan Cohen back here, for sure. This is only 2 weeks ago, February 24th. We were at $44, $43. I mean, now we're up to 276. So I know you probably can't advise to put new money to work here, or at least a lot of it, but I think it's like a lottery ticket, right? I mean, is that what we're sort of thinking about right here, that you could play the momentum to the upside with GameStop and use it sort of as a lottery ticket as long as you have some decent outs? Is that
yes.
how you play this?
And then the other thing is, I'm looking at that range 212 to 322.
Yeah, let me call it up.
Which you're in now. So you've got to maintain those levels that you'll start to see some headwinds coming up, and on the dips you'll start to see some support. But is there a valuation? I don't know. What's the valuation of Tesla? Again, It's in the hands of those that want to buy and those that want to sell, and it's in the belief that this company has a long-term game plan that's now beginning to emerge.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, look, it's a good name. I mean, Roblox, right? We have GameStop coming. It's the right space, and everything's good to go. One more name here, and I know it's probably right up your alley, and it's General Electric. I mean, today they come up with that deal there, the shared deal going through with aviation services there. Big kind of deal. I guess it's $30 billion as well. Now that I look at this, but the one thing, why are they? So I have one question about the reverse split. I don't know if you have read that or you know anything about that. That's the first thing, and the second thing is here they also guided forward lower. So it's just a very, very strange release for me for GE because, Mark, and I know, I've been long GE here. Well, I don't know if you know that, but I mean, I'm long breaking through this 10, and I cannot believe that we've had a 40% move in the new year, but they were cruising, like they were making moves. 1450, everything was all good, and all of a sudden they dropped this bomb today, guiding lower, and then a possibly reverse split. My experiences, Mark, with a reverse split is the complete opposite of what maybe GE's trying to do here. Why would you go 8-1 the other way? That would put this stock at $100 and something. That doesn't make too much sense to me, especially considering that it's a cheaper name, that a lot of, especially with these stimulus checks coming out as well, this could be an opportunity for people to pile in at a lower cost. Share price obviously doesn't affect the valuation. Any opinions on GE here?
I think it would go lower personally. It's a long-term strategy. They've been cleaning up their balance sheet, all good. I can't figure out the split. That makes no sense to me.
Okay, good.
But we'll probably hear more about it at 9 or 9:30 when the CFO comes out and talks about it. But personally, I'm looking down near the 12.5, 13 area to buy shares.
Mark Roberts, Sun Lake Strategy, thank you so much, my friend. The knowledge there on Roblox, GameStop, AMC, and GE, unparalleled. So thank you so much, Mark. You definitely add a lot to our show, and hopefully we'll see you in a couple days, and we'll discuss what's up then. Thank you, Mark.
Goodbye.
Hey guys, let's talk upgrades and downgrades for today. Some interesting names on here. Sunrun, we were mentioning yesterday. Big move, some of the solar names going into earnings after market tonight. DKS back on here to the upgrade side. They reported yesterday, if you remember, Dick's Sporting Goods, DraftKings on here, Chevron. The energy group has seen a little bit of a pullback over the past couple of sessions, guys.
Yeah, and look, we've talked a little bit about the energy space, but DraftKings certainly not going to be too big of a surprise. We've said this for a lot of these upgrades when they start coming through. I like the ones where it happens on after a dip, and they're actually not just doing it before we break out through like 75 at some point. I will say this on DraftKings, missing opportunities to add is like, it'll kick you in the butt. You can talk about diversification all you want. If you diversified with Penn, great. If you diversified with things like the Score, again, wasn't bad, but with Score, sometimes going with the best of breed is the way to go when covering a space, or like the two. And that's why we talk about Penn. we are getting, and DraftKings itself is actually coming right back to this previous like 65 top. I mean, 65 is literally on the offer right now with a half an hour to go. And you've probably heard us say this a few times. I don't think I've had much success with pre-market trading, probably zero in a stock like DraftKings. It's only done 300,000 shares pre-market, but this is a level of 65, which had some significance previously. It's going to be hard to ignore this one if it's still giving you a shot to break out off of the open. So it's the only price I actually had written down for DraftKings, unless some kind of crazy flush happens, in which case you know you're looking to pick a bottom there.
I mean, DraftKings is basically just one of these for us, guys. I mean, we talked about DraftKings over and over again. I've loved DraftKings for a hell of a long time. And then, again, if you guys were watching it, and maybe this is a reason why, if there's not other things, right here, back on the 26th last week in March, when we touched $55, I pounded the table, I threw stuff, and said, this was a buy down here when DraftKings made this move back down to $55. So today you're getting 65. Hey, man, that's 20% from this bottom right there. So congratulations if you did have that. I didn't add to it. I added AMD and Square, but DraftKings is already way too big of a position for me. Not way too big, but it's bigger than I thought now that it's appreciated in value. So yeah, we're long $35, 37 and change, I think it was, in one account and 34 in the other. But that add to 55, guys, pick up strong names on weak markets. I can't say that enough. That's why I went back to Square and AMD and DraftKings.
All right, guys, let's get into what is moving around here in the pre-market. If you haven't done so already, make sure you take a second and sign up, log in, register, whatever you want to call it, with that link right there. That'll get you to our morning note that we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30, as all the stocks that are moving around in the pre-market and a little bit on why. Then you join us right now, and we discuss each and every one of them. We talked about it quickly early on, guys, but let's get into a little more detail here on Roblox. So different than an IPO as far as the functionality of what is going to happen is concerned, but Roblox coming today, we hope, during the show, obviously, RBLX on the NYSE.
Right, and look, obviously being a direct listing, there's some things that are going to be a little different. One thing that'll remain the same is, look, it'll be no trading, it'll be all grayed out. What we can show you from time to time, guys, is to be able to put up the imbalance locator and just show you here. It's right now 4.3 million shares on a buy imbalance, and that's going to change. Right now the paired volume is very low. What you'll see happen is this is going to grow, and then once that gets down to like a manageable level, it usually comes back in, and then you'll get an open. We don't know what time that's going to be particularly, but we're going to bring it to you as long as it's live during the show. So, the last time there was a direct listing, you can see pounds here on my board. That was the name of the game. I think what's going to be different for me here, and I still like the opening print idea, it probably matters a little bit more the types of support levels that it immediately finds. The notion that there will be underwriters or in large institutional orders in that regard holding up certain levels, right? Like that open price. That might not get so obviously defended as it would on a regular IPO, and that's where some of the concern comes in, because if you have long-time investors that can dump this thing, you could see some pushes down, through the bottom. And it's worth noting, obviously, Palantir's went really well, and Palantir was a different story. So when we show Palantir and you see it actually holding the bottom really well the first couple of days, there was a lockup period with Palantir. And to my experience, and I could be wrong about this, I can't think of another direct listing of any significance that had a lockup like Palantir did. Maybe there is one. There is none in this particular case. So that's why I actually want to see a big support level that I can jump in front of before getting in like a max share position off the open. They did a raise in January at this level. That 45 indicative price is 30 billion. The raise was 29.5 billion. So psychologically, I don't know where it's going to open up. If it opens up at 55 or 50, then 45 becomes an obvious support. If it opens up at 70, then who cares about that 45 number? You're going to have to play it by the tape.
Dropping my pen everywhere. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for Roblox, man. I just think it's a screaming buy off the open. You know, I've done the research. I've looked at a lot of different things, but the only thing that does worry me, like I was mentioning to these guys earlier, was the fact that it's a direct listing and there's no new shares created. And I mean, if this thing opens up, Roblox at it, so I'm just watching AMC. If it breaks 11, I'm gone. We just got some more out in the 20s there. Not going to hold this one. It's just 9 o'clock. We'll see if some action comes in at 9 o'clock to spurn this thing up. It's only 20 seconds away. Breaking through 11, we're out. Okay, but about Roblox. So it's a direct listing, which means that current shareholders have the shares right now. So you're going to wait to see. It could open up. There's a few hedge funds and different investors. It's not too many of them that have been involved early. They just came with a 30 billion valuation. That puts it at 45. My fear is this thing opens at, I'll just use it easy math, 90, because then we'll double that 45 to 90, which would then put it at a $60 billion valuation. So if you got in on early round funding here for Roblox at probably like $1 billion or whatever, even if you got in at 30 billion just a couple months ago, I think it was even in January, just a couple months ago, what do you do when you stare in the face of a reopened trade, 60 billion, right? So you've doubled your money. Obviously, they have a lot of shares and they're not locked up. So I think that that's something that's super important to understand about Roblox today. I have to take it. I told my kids I would. Let's see what happens here today. Hopefully, we're eating good tonight and not eating that coal that I used a reference for with Christmas with, what did I talk about Christmas with again? Bitcoin it was. That was what it was. Bitcoin. Oh yeah, Bitcoin right now 56.2 and still moving higher. And there's that AMC bump a little bit there off the open. It gets back to 115 where we got in at there. But that 9 o'clock bounce doesn't seem to be working here as AMC will break 11 and we'll get out of that one. Still a profit. There we're out. Still a profitable trade, but we definitely got out of that one. And then here's GameStop, actually holding its low of 270. So unlike AMC, GameStop continues to hold. And there we go, we're out. So a bunch of outs there. VWAP, not that important, but our best out was 38s, 35s, 36s. So again, a nice little win there. We did hold, I think it was 30 or 40% back to the downside and got out of that on an 11 break. So right now we'll just sit pretty. We'll use our Post-it note. If you guys are looking at Post-it notes, it's already up on Twitter. I'll post that in the chat as well.
All right, just checking on Eli Lilly. Not much of a reaction to this, but there was a headline there on LLY talking about a combination of therapies cutting serious illness and death in treatment of patients with COVID-19. So heads up on Eli Lilly. Let's bring in Arun, and we'll have a look at the overall market, see what levels we need to be aware of. As far as the futures are concerned, they like that number this morning, Arun.
Yeah, which is surprising because the number wasn't that impressive, but it may be what the interpretation of what that could do in terms of policy. Maybe that's what it is. I honestly don't know why we're moving this way, but it is what it is. We are moving this strong. So here, let's figure out what to do now. So now we're entering this 90 area, which to me, 90 going up to 05, 905, 3905. There seems to be a lot of activity from yesterday. So I'm going to keep an eye on potential shorts. It's just like yesterday. You know, we're moving through a sell zone, but we are positively biased. So you do have to be aware of the potential for a short, but at the same time, you're not going to jump into a short automatically. So I'll be aware that there could be some activity up here that I can use to potentially look for some shorts. But at the same time, I'm going to let this flow out and work its way through if it's going to keep on going up. Now, if it falls off the zone and it comes back into the 75 area, I think you're going to start looking for some longs again. That seems to be a base through the bottom all the way down to 50. 50, keep in mind, was the level yesterday where I said it would be an automatic short for me if we kind of fell off because we were in a sell zone. If we fell off, 50 would be the shorting point. Now that is my bottom support level because we never fell off. We just kind of grinded our way through the sell zone yesterday and kind of just took off to the upside. So here we are, that 50 is in support, is acting as a support zone. 75 through 50, potential buys. 90 through 05s, 3905s, potential sells, but the bias is to the upside, so I will be careful with the shorts. But at the same time, just be aware, just know that it's in a sell zone. It might react quickly. So that's something to just keep an eye on.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again with Arun tomorrow morning. Again, that auction coming up this afternoon as well could be a market mover. So 1 p.m. Eastern, guys, on that 10-year. General Electric, we talked about GameStop already a little bit there. So let's go down to GE. Whole bunch of news coming out. As Sean was mentioning with Mark there, they guided They were talking about a deal involving their aviation leasing company, and also multiple reports of this reverse split, guys. 1 for 8 possibility.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just simply recommending that. Look, I don't know. I'm actually a little bit glad. I said this in the chat. I'm a little bit glad that Mark was confused about the notion behind that reverse split, because quite frankly, I don't get it either. Ultimately, you got to think about where to buy on this dip. If you buy into the fact that this is going to be a short-term rally in the NASDAQ and a short-term relief in terms of like a tech and the high-flying names to the upside, then you have to start also potentially thinking about, okay, well, where do I want to dip buy some more cyclical names as well? And that's why, you got to look back to these clusters. I mean, like, I like that 13 area as well, and already was thinking about doing that, and I would go ahead and endorse it. I think you look at some other names as well, like maybe like the Caterpillars of the world. I already missed my shot to reload on US Steel at 17, but if that ever got down to that price, sure. This potentially just gives you the catalyst for that in GE here. So I think as this is being digested and pulling back in, it gives you a little bit of a catalyst to possibly get a better price in the upcoming days. And of course, as I say that, NASDAQ headed to 1%. So this is clearly forming into an update. Let's just not forget that a lot can change at 1 o'clock. It would not, the market could go haywire to the upside, continuing a push, and you can see like 3-4%. But if demand is not where it's expected to be, that exuberance could turn on an absolute dime. Either way, I think you're looking in this little relief rally to pull up some of these cyclical names on these dips, and GE probably leads the way just simply because of the price it's giving you. And GameStop did break. It broke that 273 and then down through 270, but it's back above that 270 mark. So holding for now is GameStop.
Okay, so as we discussed with Mark Roberts about GE, we don't understand that reverse split talk. And here's my post-it note here, and I just hope that you guys see this. GE, we'll see if it's going to hold 14. Someone said my writing is like a doctor's, but I think you can read everything in here. Someone also mentioned about Tilray. There's my note on Afria. Would rather trade that at 19. We'll have a look at that. But here's GE, 14 to hold. Then we go up to 1440 and we retest 1450. But look what happens. So follow me on Twitter. You can get these post-it notes in some of these key levels, and you can tell me what you think. But look at that 14 level. I mean, that's it. I mean, if you go long and it breaks, you go short, right? That's why we give those levels. There it is, man. Instantly down 50 cents off that 14. So if you're not cashing in on that note right there, then that was a big one. And you know what? It just came crashing down today, cracks that 14 all the way down to 1350. Now we're basing out 1370, 1375. I'll probably, wow, NASDAQ. Like, what is my DraftKings up now? Wow. Okay. What I was saying was, GE, I'll probably stay away. I'm a little bit confused. I don't understand why they'll reverse split. I don't understand why they guided lower. This deal, they're going to lose a little bit on that deal. It looks like today down 2%. And they're selling some of their aviation, a merger deal there today. It's all on our watch list. And I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand it today. And when you don't do that, there's so many other names to trade here today. Just checking back in on Roblox. So starting to get paired off. Hopefully this opens up soon. There's a lot of chatter. There's my Palantir. Let's go. 25.10. A nice little move for Palantir today. You're going to see that up 4% and more probably. We'll see if we test 27 in the next couple of days, I'm hoping. But back on the topic, if you don't see something you like, you don't have to trade it. And we talk about that all the time on the show. I'll probably stay away from GE, but definitely worth looking at as it's doing volume with news today. So we'll watch it. If it breaks 14 back upside, that's when I'm going to get interested.
Okay, let's continue on. Just checking on Roblox here, guys. No indication yet. I mean, the market's not even open yet. So we'll keep an eye on when this thing is ready to get going as far as Roblox is concerned. I was reading that Elon Musk regained $20 billion in personal value yesterday on that move, and Tesla shares up 20% at the end of the session. Just amazing move for Tesla. I just checked again. 700 coming into play here probably before the market opens, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how quickly, because it took from this little bounce back, and of course, remember that flush that we were all talking about? It was absolutely crazy back on the 23rd, and Tesla got to that magical 620 number. The relief off of that had some trouble in a secondary push stalling at like 725, which is the level I got written down past 700, because 700 is basically here. And with 20 minutes to go, we're going to test that 700 level in all likelihood before the stock opens up. One more thing, just throw GE out there. I did mention dip buying. There's a level 1330 that I like on that in particular. But if you believe in the idea or the notion that this could be at least a little bit, I don't want to say short-lived, but this relief rally could stall at least a little bit and slow down, then you got to start thinking about that 725 level, potentially for Tesla, whether it's for taking profits or for day traders, maybe thinking about a little bit of a short. Interestingly enough, if that auction goes poorly, and you have a chance to use that as your support or resistance level on a Tesla, that would be a fantastic price in that regard, if it hasn't already broken through by 1 o'clock, which is a distinct possibility for sure.
Yeah, all we wrote down is as we cheer on Palantir going to the upside here. Yes, sir. Happy with that trade. Obviously, in Tesla, what I wrote down on the post-it note, which is available for you, is just 660. I mean, I don't really have anything on Tesla other than just waiting to see what we do if we can come back to these levels today. Yesterday was such, I mean, you mentioned it, Brendan, 20 billion. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter Elon Musk's personal wealth. I don't think he's selling anything. But, or maybe he is at some point. If he does, watch out. We'll get out of the stock if that does happen at some point. I know he nibbles on some sales every once in a while. But 660 down to the downside right there, that could hold. I mean, there was just incredible buying yesterday. Like 595, guys, just kept going. It basically doesn't even look, I mean, it looks sideways a little bit there, but then just keeps going. You did get a dip opportunity. And this is why I look at 660. It goes from 680, dips down to 660, comes there and then retests. Whether or not these dark prints are real or not, it's just, it basically ended at 658 or so. So, I mean, that to me looks like a decent spot for resistance there. And you might think like, okay, 660 is not going to happen, but we've seen Tesla drop like $100 in the first couple minutes. You guys know that. So we'll wait to see if Tesla can test that 660. I don't think there's a problem. Parking in order like 665. There's that bottom there as well. Park in order somewhere. If you get touched, that's great. And then maybe you can use 655 or something as a washout bottom. But other than that, let's just see what Tesla can do. 20% yesterday, 3% today. Actually, I guess it wasn't 20% at the close, but a big move there. Well, close enough, actually. A big move there, followed by another one today. Look, man, Tesla bears, just beware, because you got to get out on any dips, because the bulls are always running in this thing, it seems, Brendan.
Yeah, I think it was 19.2 or something like that when all was said and done. So Tesla 3.8, 3.6 in that neighborhood. Here's XPeng, 6.9% this morning, just breaking back through $32 to the upside. I mean, there's a Citigroup upgrade price target increase on this. I mean, it's a group move, obviously, this morning, but XPeng or XPEV moving along with them. There was also an interesting story talking about they're kicking off a long-distance autonomous navigated trip throughout China. So they're talking about 3,000 kilometers on a test that they're going to run over the next couple of months, completely autonomous, completely navigated by their navigation system.
The way I sort of look at XPeng, and this is not to beat up on them, and that obviously is an interesting test, and you do get the price target move, and of course it's a bit of a late cut because we've already cut that in half and then already bounced. So I look back towards the last time we approached these price areas on the way down, and it sort of sticks out like a sore thumb because you're going to have that 32.75, and again, you go back to the 23rd and you get that little bottom. It holds that bottom the next week, and that's the same 32.75 to 33 area. It's somewhat of a chop zone before it turns into obvious resistance. So I'm watching XPeng for the 33 the same way I'm looking at 725 over there on Tesla. It should be a big level. We're approaching it now with a 32 break sort of ongoing. If you had the pre-market long in a name like this, you're looking to possibly take some profit off that at 33. And I want to make one quick note because someone did ask in the chat why KOS was moving. KOSS, the headphone maker. Remember, as one of the meme stocks, it tends to go whenever GameStop goes. GameStop just rolled through that 270 and continues to head downside. And KOSS, I just happened to note, it did break some recent lows here in the pre-market, but it's sort of hovering around doing nothing. And if this move extends further in GameStop, let's say we get down to the 250 and you're still able, and I'm still able to short around this 26 area on cost, I would certainly go ahead and do that by proxy, because I would expect that if there was a sharp sell-off in GameStop, it might be better if you can get a really good price on cost. Currently, though, it looks like it could be the case. The volume's good. The spread's not terrible right now. I did have one short in and out on cost a lot earlier when GameStop was trying to do a reversal. I'd try it one more time here off of the open if I can.
Okay, yeah, so I was just going to look at Rocket right now as well. The same kind of theory there about some of these stocks starting to finally go. Maybe Rocket can do that through 26. So we'll wait. We did this trade yesterday, managed to make a decent amount of money. I forget what the price we had yesterday. I think it was 26 as well, to be honest with you. It might have even been lower than that on some of these breaks, but look what happened to Rocket. It got going in the afternoon, and we hit some of this too. So we'll see if that can go. Still a big short float on RKT, so we'll watch that. And then, I mean, you missed the boat, because Neo, honestly, man, like, you want to talk about a buy, like that down to 32 or 33, whatever it was on that whoosh day was absolutely, still on Rocket, was an absolutely unbelievable move. And now you get it up to 43, 43.75 right now, Rocket. Wowzers, or sorry, Neo rocketing to the top here. Big time move. And this is what I was talking about. This little intraday low there, 32. I was caught long in here, and then we were able to make it back on the buy. But wow, down to $32. My chart not loading back to November for some reason. But that was a super low spot there. Even if you picked it up at like 34, 35, I mean, you're now in the money, $10. Like, that's 30% almost, you know, from its lows. So Neo continues to move upside. Congratulations to anybody that has this. If you're looking for some levels on Neo, I mean, we can go to a 20-minute chart. I'm only doing this because we're talking about XBEV right here. This is a 20-minute chart. I mean, these bottoms are going to get tested right now. 44.50, you know, could come into play back in February 26th there. That was 44.50, and yeah, we're approaching 44. I mean, this thing's off right now. Some of these levels that were cracked were so amazing. This $40 level that cracked was gone as well. And so, yeah, bye-bye Neo, especially when you look at this NASDAQ. Holy crap. Like, NASDAQ yesterday, guys, was up, you know, 4% at close. You add another 1.3 to this. I mean, people were like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? The sky is falling. And sure, it did fall in a lot of stocks, man. Like Tesla was 900, you know what I'm saying? So we still have some stocks to get going back upside. But the correction, no longer, man. We're now only down, I think it's must be now close to 6% from its all-time high. Like, that's cruising, man. We'll see. Hopefully you're able to pick some up. We could pull back again, but right now the momentum definitely to the long side.
All right, let's talk about cannabis stocks. Another group also participating with this move back to the upside. Tilray specifically up 9% here in the pre-market. They announced approval over in New Zealand for their medical marijuana products. They were already in Australia, so expanding to New Zealand now for medical use over there, guys. Not a huge story, but Tilray, the entire cannabis group, higher this morning.
It is. I mean, Tilray's up
Good
that
one, Brendan.
Yeah, we caught that one. Brendan with the, and he doesn't even smile. He's so calm about it when he drops a good pun there. One of these names, Sundial, was on the downgrades list. So you see Tilray up that 10%, the entire group up, and Sundial is up 4 or 5%. I kind of threw in the chat, and I'm already on watch for like this 150 level. Yesterday's high, it got to like a 147 top. 147.5 technically, and then we have that same high at 147. I'm not gonna mess around with a random price like that. It's that 150 that's going to be interesting to me. Above that price, there is some chop when you go to the daily. If you get to like a 170 or so, you're looking at more of a scalp trade through a long on Sundial if it does break that 150. It is lagging a little bit. I don't know if the price cut matters. More of a momentum play here. And if there were more size in level 2, like if this was a gigantic level, we haven't really seen these in the past in Sundial. You know, if it was like 1 million shares, there are only 250,000 or so on this offer, so not too much. If it was more like 1 million or 2, I'd be thinking about first fading that one, even in the pre-market here. But I'm going to like Sundial if we get some momentum to the upside. It'd be ideal if you got like some of the other names pushing through the highs and Sundial was lagging, but with the 150 level, beggars can't be choosers. When it breaks, it breaks. We're going to go for it.
Okay, so again, you know, I drew this list, this pop-up, you know, way early, and I have Afria down here at 19. So I mean, the thing is, it broke 19 like absolutely no problem right here. It goes up to 19, cracks it, and then just rips up. We were in the office earlier and made this note before, before 8 o'clock. So I wasn't expecting this kind of a move all the way to 20. But there it is right there, Afri up to $20. So, again, to look at a longer period time frame here on a 20-minute chart, we were just at 14 a couple days ago. Now you're up to 20 today. I mean, they're just selling weed now in New Zealand. A big market. I don't know. It seems like this is up a lot on something that seems trivial to me, but I guess, look, new deals, new opportunities for Tilray. And remember, Tilray and Afria are going to merge. It's going to be 0.83 shares of Tilray going into Afria. So into the Tilray name, you get 0.83 for every share you own. So you're going to have to watch out here. 21 could be on watch, but unless Tilray goes absolutely ham, I don't think Afria will do anything. I think the 7% seems like it's too high on that news. So we'll wait to see, and then we'll see what happens today as, we'll light one up if it does get maybe even above 12. Hold on a second. We won't light anything up. We'll light up our board here if we get above $20. And then I really think that we'll have to watch to see what happens at this 19 level. If 19 holds, then we'll look for a bump up. So I'll see. We'll play that long, 19, 10-ish, 19, something like that. But again, I just think that this 7% is a little overdone. I'd be a seller, especially if you had some profits, even from yesterday. Depends on your outlook. I'm a bull cannabis long term, but these swings are huge, man. You can always get better prices. Don't forget that.
All right. Speaking of big swings, we put tech stocks as a group on the list this morning, but let's focus on Square here, guys, because we're up another almost 4% here, 3.8% back to 234. Again, this thing was below $200 3 days ago.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Now, you're actually coming right into the midpoint of the range here. I always like to throw out these random mathematical fun things for me. We're at that 15% move if you did pick it up. And this is why anticipating some people taking some profit just makes a ton of sense to me in and around this 235. And especially if we really extend this rally into a 250, taking the opportunity to take off 15, 20%, even more than that, depending on where you may have reloaded your shares. A lot of people loaded up in around that 200 range, of course. It makes sense to me. I'd be doing that, and like I said, in favor of things like GE on the dip, Caterpillar on potential dips, any of those cyclical names that you think are your best bets. And much like Tesla, look, if at 1 o'clock, if that Treasury auction goes poorly, and let's say there was a devastating one previously, and we saw what happened to the markets there, it's not crazy that you could be giving up those 2-day gains in Square rather quickly, or at least half of that move certainly. So if you are trading Tesla, Square, your Microsofts, any of your big tech names, a lot of these high valuation names, whether you're talking about your Snowflakes, your Lemonades, whatever falls into that category. If you're not paying attention to the bond auction at 1 o'clock to see which way that goes and to make sure that demand for the 10 years is solid, then you're going to be basically trading blind. And so for some traders, what they like to do is be flat for day trading going into numbers like that. I tend to think it's a pretty solid idea to do so. But if you're just overall managing your positions, a big event could be coming through. When it comes to Square, I really didn't have any levels other than that if we even sniffed 250, I think it's going to be heck of resistance. If you want to talk about any kind of a pullback, I just don't. I was liking 225, and again, I wrote down 225 when I sat down here this morning, but obviously the move that we've had this morning has changed a lot of that perspective. It's a different take buying the dip when you're trading in a 227 range and thinking you might get a 225 dip, yesterday's close price, then if you got it now, it would require the stock falling $9 into the open, which changes that altogether. You need to see how it's moving into that level. So I almost have to throw away that 225. I still have it here written down, but I can't anticipate it'll be the same type of trade.
Disney, we'll shift down to Disney. You can pick Apple, you can pick Facebook. They're all looking very similar today. Disney reporting 100 million subscribers already for their Disney Plus service late in the day yesterday, although it was very, very weak throughout the session, kind of bucking the trend as the entire market showed so much strength. Disney trying to get higher a little bit this morning, so bouncing back after the selling we saw yesterday throughout the session. But 100 million subscribers already for Disney Plus.
Look, I mean, ultimately, it's one of those things where if you got kids, then you probably are all over that Disney because there's a bunch of stuff for them to watch on there. And unless you're into Star Wars and the Marvel movies, which I admit I am, so I'm absolutely loving it. Actually, going through Avengers and all of those movies again myself. The problem with the day trade here for Disney is pretty clear when you put up the higher term chart. There was all kinds of chop for a couple of sessions here between this like 194 and this 197. So if we're going to hang out right on this little range, what I would say is there might be, and if there is that sort of cyclical play like dip down, reopen names, if you can catch those off that level, maybe it gives you support off of 194. I think the break could be a little concerning for me. I think there'd be a lot of other names I'd like a lot better for a 198 break, but that's what I had written down. Inside of this range, I don't necessarily love it unless you can get the best price off the bottom on Disney. And as far as waiting to make a bigger move on a longer time frame, I think you can preach a little bit of patience with this, and that maybe you see a bit of a bigger dip back if you're thinking about a long-term position. But for me, I got that 198 written down for a breakout. Candidly, I wrote that down before the tech bounce and this move up you have. So obviously that changes the litmus as to what names are participating in this rally. But certainly if we drew back in and gave some consolidation and Disney is hanging out in the range, that's the only level I like in terms of a breakout to the upside. If you get a chance to defend 194 today, I think that's worth one take.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to say that we Square, what a good buy that was. I wasn't here. 212, we put that in our pipe the other day, and that was fantastic. It's in our long-term position. Good run on that one. And then here goes Palantir up to the upside again, 25.20, making moves this morning. Here goes Palantir. On that note, I wanted to say something that I think this, I don't know if it's a record or not, but we already have 10-2 watching right now. So thank you for everybody for watching. It's a completely live and free show. We're going to make live trades for you. We're not just going to sit here and talk some nonsense. We're going to hopefully talk trades and give you guys a little bit to cheer for. So, and in your own accounts as well. 1.5K though, Valeria. I know you're not wearing the green today, but we're already up. Remember yesterday when I was like, you know what, guys, let's just bring out some good luck here. And I mean, if you're long, hit that like button because like, you know, we can go another 4% today. It worked yesterday. She wore green and it rocketed yesterday. So a nice little 1.9K right now. We just got 400 real quick. We are on a delay, so hopefully that goes up to 2,000 or 3,000. Let's get that going before the show starts. We got Roblox for you. We got GameStop. We got everything, guys. So let's get ready to rock and roll. I'm super excited about. Let's go, Palantir. Like you better fly, and I think it will. I think that's a double. Maybe not a double, but that's the $40 sooner rather than later. Here's Roblox, what it looks like. No one's going to get long at 3,500. These are all limit orders going in, and you can see, holy crap, there's a lot of sell side action right here on Roblox. So let's just wait to see what happens. I'm going to be going long off the open, and we'll see what happens right there. But Roblox right now, a big move there. Let's see how it goes. But thank you for that. Instantly 1,000 likes there, Brendo.
Yeah, great numbers, guys. If you're joining us for the first time, remember, make sure you hit the like and subscribe as well. We're almost at 200,000. Roblox Day. Chemtrex, CETX, not on the list this morning, but interesting one to keep in mind. 320, 350, two levels just from the pre-market here. If you go back in the daily chart, they pop in as well. It's kind of holding lower right now below $3, which is the middle of this range, looking like it might want to fade this gap from Chemtrex, CETX, guys.
Thanks, Ben. I'll add one level to that one because I played off of this like 290 to 285 area here. When it broke 290, I took a quick short. I had a previous one earlier off of that 320, took a bit of a scalp and then got stopped out of it. Now going back in at the lower range. If this breaks 3 even, I would get out of the trade and then look for that much better level. And again, this is the daily chart that Brennan was talking about, that 320. So I already like this one. I'm already into it. Multiple entries, I think. We can be active traders here. That's one thing you'll hear us talk about. We are day trading, so we'll have multiple entries and multiple exits for a lot of these trades, especially the ones that are going to be in some small cap names, just to take advantage of that fact. So if we get a push in the next 2 minutes, I don't like averaging in going into that 930, but I'll take this one off. And there it goes. Like you see that spike right there? Have my stop order, never wanted this to break that 3 even, so we'll just quickly get out of it. And if it retests up to like this 320, 325, that's what I'll look for off the open. So we do get some wins as it tests down to that 280, and then we'll take the rest out. So 10-cent wins, 10-cent losses. That kind of risk reward is what you're looking for here. Guys, we'll show it to you live. Like, how many times will you see someone actually get stopped out, real execution, and show you guys an actual loss on a trade in real time? Now, look, this is a dark pool print. It didn't print all the way up to 317. I can confirm it's actually trading at 0405. But I'm on that CETX. And just to check back in, because I know some of you are watching that GameStop, had it continued its move down, I was looking to go short cost, but GameStop making a bit of a bounce. It's back above that 270 level. It just feels like it's just possessed. Like it has to go right back to that level every single time it breaks. It's been very, very unclean on those 270 breaks. As long as we can hold 250, I mean, we're going to be in sights of one of those top breaks and further squeezes on GameStop. On severe weakness, if it goes and I miss it, I am still looking at cost as a bit of a proxy to be able to short that name.
Okay, real quick, guys. Apple, we wrote down 122. We like it. Don't know why that's struggling. 1.44% the NASDAQ is. Apple downside right now. Look at
Apple,
my boy.
Tesla just turned.
Yeah, look at my boy Microsoft right now, up 1.3%. You guys remember that 233 long that we took yesterday? That had multiple stars on that one. Someone just said, Sean, let's show the NASDAQ imbalance. You want it, you got it. Here it is right here quickly. Nothing. Okay, so it's pretty dead there on the NASDAQ imbalance. I'll put that up quickly for you, just so we can also show the NYSE one. Hello, 6 million, GE, 1.6 million to sell. Just on GE, that breaks 14. We're going to be in on that one. And the NEO still rocking, AMC upside, Palantir upside and falling. Let's wait to get longer on Palantir on a downside spot. Here we go, Neil, 10 seconds.
There it is. There's that countdown. 8, 7. Miss V is on the bell. Let's get this hump day started. Head to 13,000 on the NASDAQ. 3, 2, and 1.
Hello.
Oh, Valeria's not messing around today.
No, Valeria with the real deal there on that punch. So good job there, Valeria, knocking it out of the park. As we thought, though, guys, I mean, look, we're completely comfortable with this. My largest trade in the last couple days has been Palantir on weakness. So let's wait to see what happens. It's coming back down. I like this 2450 area. If we could start getting long soon on Palantir, maybe a decent spot. Watch out for NASDAQ coming in. We'll sniff these levels and then look for a little bit lower.
And that CETX blowing to the upside. This is why you got to have a stop, guys. This stock looking like it's super strong. Heading into pre-market highs. I mean, 380 was this little hump here. There was a top at 4 even exactly. 350 is sort of halfway. I'm going to take a first shot off that 350 level if I can here on this Centex CTX if it's going to hold. Just to show you guys live level 2, there is a bit of size at that 50. I want to see what happens if it trades a little bit above. Got to give it some room, maybe to like 60s, but that's a big enough move for me to want to fade it. If it comes even halfway back, you have a decent risk to reward.
Okay, so I only have one position right now. We're going to get Palantir longer, hopefully at 70 if we can. Remember, we're going to use 2450 as our kill spot. So a little baby start, like we said. We'll start to build the position. It's not a big position, so we're going to wait for that. GameStop, also 264, coming downside. Watch out for yesterday's peak there, 256. Watch out for yesterday's close as well, 250. That's the level that we wrote down. Okay, Palantir, I see you. I see what you're trying to do right now. A nice little 7-cent win there. We'll take some out at 25. This is the plan. We did it. So let's see if it breaks through now. 25.20 to the upside on Palantir. We've already got a nice long at 90. We're just going to go 1 for 1 right now. We're holding on to this trade and waiting for others. But space, oh wow, we didn't talk about space. That's up 9% today. Virgin Galactic.
Take your profit on that one. So we got the break on CTX. It's headed towards that $4. I'm short in front of that $4 range now at 390. If it breaks 4, got to run away from it. I also noticed that Virgin Galactic, and I wanted to quickly say, I know we talk about this name all the time, but some of these you really have to think about where you're going to take your profit off. And I think that the move is not done here. We talked about testing that 24 even. 34, 35 would be a fantastic spot for that. So I got back into that CTX. But I'm watching GameStop now pressing towards like a 275 potential break to the upside. CTX for now holding 4. It would be a jailbreak at that 4 even.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here we go, Tuck Dog time as we just hit it because it's a banger to start the day right now, guys. Look at this Palantir long as we continue to go to the upside. Out 26, out 27, out 29 right there. Bang, a nice little win. We take that top off too at 25.20, and now we're just cashing out. Long, out, 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 out. Long again, out, out, out. Let's see what happens now with Palantir. We're going to go 1 for 1 here. Focus on what's working for you guys, and Palantir's been hella working for me lately, so nice little dip by there. We talked about that. We wanted 70s, man. It got as low as 78, so skin off our back, not really. Would have liked to go longer, but there it is to start the day. It's already a backflip kind of day, but we still wait for Roblox as Palantir, new highs. Let it go.
Oh my goodness, DraftKings all the way back to like that 65 level that we talked about before. Managed to get some of it back on CTX as it popped down to that 380. But the next thing you got to watch for is going to be Tesla 725. That's coming a lot faster than anticipated. I mean, we certainly thought the market could head upside, but we just turned on the NASDAQ. They actually came down, fading off of 13,000, while Tesla's still pressing and making some fresh highs. So you are seeing a bit of a disparity between some of these names. And there goes that Centex down at 373. So this is why we got back in front of that 4 even. 4 is still a jailbreak, I do believe. But Tesla, I do feel like if the market makes a pullback, I thought 725. It could be 720. The current high is 718.
Yeah, man. I mean, spin it. We're just going to go 1 for 1 here on a big trade to start the day with, man. I mean, look at this Palantir right up to 24.50. Bang, bang, bang. One position, and it's a doozy right here, Brendo.
We were talking about Bitcoin prices, guys, in the pre-market. Here we go again, pushing back towards day highs. Look at Mara, 10% here. Just took out that day high. You can pick one. They're all looking at very similar, strong, that is, this morning, guys.
All right, 24, just took a sip of coffee there, almost done. Okay, 25.50 there. That's where we're unloading these shares, man. I mean, we're long here at 24.90. We took another break trade right there. This is a serious position. And then dump, 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 dump. So, like, we're just going to get out now. Again, you can't hold things, well, you could hold things. I don't hold enough most of the time. There we go, taking some more outs here. And the reason why, it's just that 50 level, right? We've talked about that over and over again. Here's a 20-minute chart. There's 50 right there. We've already ticked up to there back on the 4th. So if it breaks it, great. It will probably take some more long. But for right now, man, we're just riding this high. And we've only been into one position, and that is Palantir. We could check it. Oh, come on. We could check back in on, there goes 50. Okay, GE, I'm not interested in this until we break above, like even 1380 maybe. I put in 14, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. 1380 has to come, guys.
Yeah, and this is what you try to do, guys. Do not look a gift horse in the mouth. You get burned once on the short trade. You get the short in front of that 4 even. Take the profit in front of that 350 when it gets there. So 360 is the best out I can get on that 89 short, not 90 on CETX. And again, if it breaks 4 even, there could be a jailbreak. It's a double top now. I'll look to reverse long for a scalp break on 380. Of course, it's in the money, 20 cents now, but that can change in a heartbeat. Brendo?
First halt of the day goes to XELA to the upside here. This one was, if you remember, crazy mover from yesterday. So again today, 43% to the upside. Bottom end of the watch list this morning, XELA, guys.
You're tearing me apart, Zila. You've got to be kidding me. This stock cannot seem to go down. Unbelievable. I was all over the 450 breakout yesterday on this particular name and turned what could have been like a huge win into like $5. I should have held on a little bit longer. I took most of it initially out for 20 cents, and we talked about that. Look out for those afternoon plays for breaks. I thought after this weakness that Zila showed, pulling back $1.50 in the pre-market, that this would be a sell day. If it opens up and has a fail at that pre-market high, I think about the shorts, but have a very, very definite plan for this name. Do not let it break that high of day 733. Maybe a 750 stop is reasonable, but if it reopens in 5 minutes and it opens down, then I like the short for sure.
Okay, and we can't do it anymore, so we'll hit a backflip. I'm not celebrating because we want Palantir higher, but we did call that 25.50 top. You could see we didn't even take any long there on that break. It just, the market's coming down. You don't want to go long Palantir, guys, in a falling market. You guys already know that, so we'll just wait and hold on to some Palantir right now, trying to get longer down here. If it happens, great. If not, let's just let this thing fly back. I mean, we're out of the money for 10 cents. Not a big deal. Okay, AMC, woo, la la. Nice little trade here on AMC as it's coming right back to the upside. Our initial long was 15s, and right now we're back to that level, 1145. Maybe something on a longer time frame here for AMC. I didn't really, what did I write down here? I didn't actually write down anything. No, I didn't on my post-it note there, as we always double check that one. Okay, 1150, 1170 maybe, some highs that we've hit already today. I like a 50 level because that's psychological for options. So let's do that, man. We have options expiration, witching coming. I think it's triple witching coming on not this Friday, next Friday, the 19th. It's rebalancing, and there's obviously a lot of options to go through there. So let's watch out for 1150 here. Wow, Boeing 236, nice little call there. Okay, so we're gonna watch out for 1150 right now on AMC.
And CTX, I get out in front of 350 on that 89 short, and of course it's now at 43, but I just noticed EXPR trying to make a push through the top. You know, you take a bit of a breakout trade. I always have a pullback area that I like to get more shares into it. And if we can hold this like 435 area, on earnings, EXPR should be on the watch list. If you go right to the very bottom, Express, so do check that one out, and certainly it's a heavily traded name, done 10 million shares. If it ever dips below $4, it'll turn into a bearish play for me. It's a potential failed break through the high. It's up 30%, but this is not the first day that it's moved. And I want to say it's a couple of minutes to go till that Zila reopen. I'm going to be all over watching that name. If it opens down, I want to take that short trade. Remember Disney. It is tested now a couple of times at the open, that 198. If it breaks through 198 going for the long, you can actually see my stop order in through there to cross to the upside if Disney wants to go. It actually tested the pre-market lows, now heading up towards the highs. The market is pulled back. That's the NASDAQ. But you could find some of the more cyclical recovery type names continue to make pushes even with this.
Okay, so we already talked about GE here, trying to get some long if it does break back above. I just want to talk about Palantir quickly. It's the only stock I'm in. Okay, so this time I'm taking a 50 break. You know, we just hit that downside. Look at the market, still fading down, and Palantir reversed all the way back up. So we'll get out now. We have a very, very small piece of Palantir left. I think it's probably worth getting out right now and then just waiting to see, but it's very, very small. We have about 5% left. We'll get this out if it comes back up here in the 40s, and then we'll wait to see what happens, but we do want to go long on a break through 25.50 now that we've already tested it. We know that there's some volume of sellers up there, so we can comfortably, in my opinion, go long now and then try to test those sellers one more time and see if they want to step in the direction or in the way of Palantir. I'm going to say no, but we'll wait to see if they do that. AAPL, Sean, 20 years experience. He should know Apple's ticker. Okay, there it is. So, we're waiting for that, man. Apple to the downside here. Not a big move. We're only down 0.43%, but it is straight to the downside following the NASDAQ. So I just want to bring this into play here. 120 held like a champ earlier. I don't know. We'll see if it's going to do it again. The NASDAQ falls down. We have recognized weakness in Apple the last little bit, so you may want to take a 120 break, or if you're long, use that as like your kill spot, Brendo.
Part of the original meme stock. Bear with me. Costs here, guys. 53% today. Just got another volume alert there at 28. So we did tag 28 back to the upside on a big buy order there, guys, for costs.
And Zila reopens, it's going to open higher, so obviously not going to be an entry trade for the short position. If it does take out the high of day, it's a decent chance it could halt into that. Breaking through that top is going to be too enticing. Now, you always have an option. If you get the breakout long and can't cover before there's a potential halt to the upside, you can take the opening print out. If you can't beat them, join them. Zila, if it takes the top, I'm going to like that one. To the long side. If it ever goes below this now 660 halt price, I think it's going to be a short trade for me. Got to go over to in a second. We're about 80 cents away from Disney breaking the top. If we go through the top, I'm going long 198 Disney. Otherwise, it's Zila through 735, current high of the day. And just noticing GameStop over here, for those of you that are tracking, made a fresh high and rejected at 288. 290 would be a nice breakout into 300, where I expect there to be a solid order.
Okay, so we just say AMC right there. We did have some early longs, man. 1130 was a good long. We took that, and then we took also this break of 1150 long right now. It's showing us in at 1153. We do have a long there as well on the VWAP. I don't know if you guys can see that. On these VWAP breaks here, in and out there. And then we do have this long earlier at 1113, but we did get that stock out. I think that was 1115, actually. Okay, here we go. It's resisting a little bit. We did take some out. What am I long at? 53, okay. We did take some out at 56 there for 3 pennies. I actually thought I was long at 50. I don't know if I would have taken it out if it was 53, but whatever. We're going to wait for this now. and just see what it does, man. I mean, this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting to see if AMC can retest some of those highs. 1180 would be pretty nice. And then I'm going to give it back. VWAP is back down here to 1124, 11. There it goes. 1124, 11. There's another out right there, 58. 1125, 24 or so, maybe a little bit lower than that, 1115 on an out. But here goes AMC, man. Another winner, chicken dinner. We're going to go 2 for 2 for you here as Palantir's still moving upside. And there goes AMC. Let's go.
Yeah, AMC, I mean, AMC, we've talked about this being a little different from our good friend GameStop, but it's not entirely different. This entire space making pushes to the high, and we talk about the meme stocks or previous meme stocks. So 290 remains a break. Zila tried to break through the top, immediately rejected. It's going to be a quick scalp in and out for me. I think I got out at like 7 even on that little break, and if it goes below 660, that's where I like the short. But GameStop is running out of steam a little bit here, and if it does turn, I do prefer cost for the short than GameStop. So as long as we're below that 290, it'd be cost that I prefer. Disney just got triggered long into a 19, 198.01. Certainly would take some off in front of a 200 if it can get there.
So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if I didn't get some out right here, right, guys? So there it is. Bang, 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 bang. A whole bunch of outs right now. It's a big trade alert for AMC. So, yeah, that's a good one, man. We'll slay this dragon again today. That is going to be AMC as it just keeps on ripping. Let's just get out. 78, 79, 70. We just got out a bunch right there. Ding, 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 ding. And there it goes. It's breaking through 1180. We got this one again. Another one. DJ College style. Let's do some backflips. I don't think me or DJ College could do anything like this. But there goes 1120, 1190, 1194, 95. Let's see $12. Adios, amigos. We'll see you later. AMC to the upside. What a great trade this was. 1130, 1115 early, and then we take this right now to the upside. Bang. Just comes close to, does it break 12 there? I don't know. Maybe it did. We have a 1202 print there. Wow. People getting excited about AMC, and your boy's in the money now. Big time already. One-time daily goal hit already. One time, and here goes Palantir testing that 50 level again. Man, we're on fire. What up, Beat?
A lot of strength right across the entire board this morning. FCell just popping up here. We were talking about some of the solar names in the pre-market there, some clean energy stocks as well. Almost 15% for FCell here at 1750, guys.
And they're going to come back to that CTX, guys. Of course, I take off at 750. Zila, another pop through like 750. So this continues to ride higher. I'm just going to take like breakout trades and try to scalp them off into any potential halts there. Zila 51's long. If I can get it to $8, certainly we'll take some profit in front. CTX below 350. Any retest here is going to be a short for me. It's right at that 320 level we were looking at in the pre-market. Just a couple of long positions. I am looking to be short in CTX, but I'd rather let this pop into a 350 for me. And still looking at GameStop, it's holding 280. Not the mover I was expecting, so a little bit of a disappointment in terms of volatility. Oh, there's Disney. Just took the scalp of 50 cents. If it goes through 199, I'll be holding to a 200 break on Disney. 198 break is something we waited for. Certainly buying the dip was a good trade, but hey, if the look was to take the breakout, we take the breakout, and that's going to be the winner.
Good look. I'm debating selling some of my Disney. We talked about that yesterday and going into some more NASDAQ names. Disney's been a huge run, man. We're long $80 in Disney in our long-term account. I think it is my largest holding now on this appreciation. But yeah, what a good trade that was. Also maybe rotating out of some JP Morgan guys. Oh, Apple had a story about cutting something there. I just saw, Brendan. Maybe you could see what that was. Okay, Palantir, I see you. Let go. Up to 60, 62, 63. Look at that out right there. Bang. I mean, you want to talk about a Palantir buy. How you like them apples on the downside right there? 24.90. 24, 25, 20, then in again and out some right there. We're getting light. You guys know that, man. We were dumping it here. It goes to 25.70 right there. A good out. We'll just continue to dump some of these shares. Big stock today. AMC and Palantir, believe it or not, they're both like running neck to neck on their profitability right now. As AMC above 12, the pins lined up. I took it, strike. Let's see how many more strikes we can get today as we keep on going. 12.20 now, AMC. Let's go, baby. 50 cents, Brendo.
Yeah, that was actually in the, speaking of Apple here, guys, that was actually out in the pre-market there. They were talking about lower demand, specifically in Asia for the iPhone 12 mini. So they're considering cutting production on that. More importantly, the $1 billion German investment into a design center in Germany. So lots of things to make note of on Apple today, guys.
There's a 290 break on GME. Now, unless you crossed, I would say almost like 60 or 70 cents, you're probably not going to catch that. If it does reverse, I'm still looking at cost here. It's actually holding at 28. If we get a push into 300, sorry, you're going to look for this break on cost here. Where are we going? There we go. Cost just broke, and I got, how did that even happen? I got 95 on a break of 28 on cost. I mean, every now and then I guess you get a dark pool fill. That's going to be a good one. So if GameStop cannot hold 290, you got to get out of this trade rather quickly. Otherwise, the retest of the highs could be the name of the game. These are moving in lockstep. Cost, I think, is the relatively weak one, but I just scalped some out there for a quick 30-cent win, and GameStop is right back above that 290. So you watch this, it's a lot of dark pools, it's a lot of spread here on this particular name. Good to have a proxy like GameStop, which is pressing 294 now, and if that's going to be the case, cost should test that high of day, at least around that $30 range. I'll take some off in front of 29, I'll take some off in front of 30, and I'll be very, very careful about any potential turn on GameStop.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're almost out. So I just want to give you guys an update. You see me in two positions. We just got out of a little bit more of Palantir as it does come right back to where we're long. And I mean, these are all basic, big time outs up there, Again, we're just scalping. I'm not trying to say this is a diamond hands type of thing. We trade what we see, guys. We play the momentum to the upside. We know Palantir's story. I mean, thank you to Tyrone Bigham's there that Sean's playing this thing like a fiddle again. You're right. I mean, this is back-to-back days where Palantir is going to be like #1 profitability stock for us here, guys. Like it's back-to-back. Like Palantir, we're just playing these dips. But you got to be very, very careful. We know what the NASDAQ can do. Like this thing rips. I'm not getting out anymore until we see what 26 brings. But you see what the NASDAQ can do. When it falls, we've seen Palantir like fall from graces, man. This was 24.50 the first time. It retraced, 25.50, retraces all the way back, like gives back its whole day just on this move, right? So you got to be very, very careful with that. And then, of course, you know what's good, guys. AMC to the upside, big time mover. Brendan, give it to us.
I just got a little surprise there. Expedia, guys, big move on Expedia. Speaking of reopen plays, here we go. Expedia, 170 in the pre-market, 173.5 up there. 4% is all-time highs for Expedia, guys.
Unreal.
All-time highs. And again, we talked about this having a bit of a plan. I missed the GameStop break. I told you guys that live at 290. What's the proxy? It's going to be, look, and ultimately we're going to power up here because I knew it was going to have to be cost. It was a lag. You see this 28 break? I mean, GameStop had already broken that 290 when you could catch this at a 28 level on cost, right? So if you know where to go, it just pushed into 30. We said if it got to $30, and GameStop was making a reversal, GameStop 288. So of course I take profit in front of it. A very, very easy way to make a couple of bucks here if you can. My first out was the quick scalp, then we held the rest because GameStop was going, and then we got the next 2/3 out for like $1.25 on average. Good look there, but of course GameStop is turning a little bit, so be a little bit careful. I want to go to this INVO. This was a play from yesterday's price action. It is now down 30%, getting absolutely crushed. If it retests this 720 level, it would be interesting to me. But I told you, you're tearing me apart, Zila. The only good thing about this name today is the fact that I didn't actually hold on to that too long. I got greedy. I didn't scalp out like 25 cents when I could have had it, but I got out basically just shy of flat. And here it is. Halts right back at 660. This opens, and I can use 660 as a bit of a resistance level. I'll look for that for a short play. I like the downward halts on stocks like this, although Zila did resist that a little bit yesterday.
Guys, Zila tearing Neil apart, not literally, but what we are doing here is tearing this market apart right now. We just, Palantir, thank you. What a big trade this has been. Now just a minute ago, I said, let's see what happens at 26. We're at 26. Like, there it is. This is an 80 cent, more than 80 cent win off this bottom. That bottom is $1 now in the money. We have this is an 80 cent win right here off that trade. And then now we're busting through to $26. A big win here for Palantir. Hello to AMC as well, as that's continuing to go upside. We're just 2 for 2 here. 1 times daily goal and still making money. But now we got to go over and see what Valeria has for us at the big screen.
Hey Sean, CCIV is the name from the chat moving upside. Do you see any opportunities in Churchill Capital today, guys?
Ay.
We'll get to that in a quick second. Of course, that's going to evolve into some of the high flyer names and some of the higher valuation names, like getting those pushes. But Square just broke, not the high of the day, and you'll see me do this all the time because we talk about 235 because you round up. I mean, the pre-market top was a 234.60. If you got that, you got $1. I take 35, so we immediately scalp out the 50 cents, hold the rest. Very similar to Disney, which did come back. Disney came back, so I got break even on the rest of the trade. I like to see if I can't hold on to Square for a bigger move. We did mention, I don't think this is going to 250 bucks necessarily. I mean, it's not impossible, but if we break 13,000 on the NASDAQ, you're going to want to be holding something to the long side. So in the event that we crack it, I'd like to hold on to the Square long, probably through a break of that price, allow to see if it fails, and I'm talking about the NASDAQ in particular, you can look for a reversal on Square at that point for sure. But we're getting very, very close to testing 13,000. Again, first time we reversed like 100 points.
Guys, feel like Drake here. Let's see what's going to happen next because right now, Palantir just see ya. That's why we hit the siren. Big trade alert over here, guys. Palantir, let's just ramp it up. And then we siren alert as well because look what your boy did here as well, Rocket. Let's see how high this one wants to go here. A nice little through 26. No idea what we want to do. We're long. We actually got a better price than we thought here. Is that Rocket? Yeah, there it is. We actually got a better price than we thought on Rocket, going 96, 97s there. So a nice little long on Rocket upside. So we're taking that for a run right now. And bang! Wow, 2 times daily now as we just keep on ripping to the high side right now. I mean, Rocket moving upside, a monster win, and Palantir, you are welcome. Welcome to the jungle, man. It's just getting started. We still have Roblox to come as well today. Man, we're feeling pretty good, Brendo.
All right, Sonos, guys, one we were talking about back months and months ago as part of the stay-at-home group, getting a nice little bump here. There was a couple of upgrades on this, 2.5% for Sonos. They also increased their current quarter guidance. It looks like they're talking about a deal with Audi as well on some tech for your car, guys, from Sonos.
And we're at 237 here, so it's almost a couple of bucks in the money on that second half of the Square trade. Now, you got to look at what's going on in the NASDAQ, and I talked about 13,000. Here's an example here. Now, if we test here to 13, I'm watching this chart. I do have it up somewhere else. And we roll back really, really hard, and I have a chance to take Square for some profits, I'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, it's a break-even stop. You do not want a reversal and a second fail at this key level at 13,000, and then you're not taking profits that you have in one of these tech longs. So I'm watching Square very closely. Obviously, if it breaks, we talked about 250 for potential shorts and reversals, especially in the afternoon at 1 o'clock. But 245 is the level that stands out for me, where I'd probably be getting out regardless of any type of move. Certainly if it slows at 240, I would take that as well. If I see gigantic size on the offer, I'll use that as a bit of an indicator to get out. Got to have a bit of a plan. I know it's in the money and we're still pushing to the upside, but as we approach 13,000, I want to make sure I'm ready to act if we do get a failure here. And GameStop continues to teeter back down below that 290. If this is the turn and it never got to 300, I'd be very, very careful. Cost could come in heavily if GameStop turns around. Brendo?
One we've been looking at over the past couple of days here, or weeks, I should say, LIZI popping up this morning. They actually reported here in the pre-market, so earnings better than expected, up 20% for LIZI.
It's Lizzie in the building. Okay, 1915 here. We Batman will have a look again here on some of these names. We talked about Afria earlier and watching again on. You can find me on Twitter if you want it. There's the post-it note. I'm not going to show it too much anymore, but we do. Where is Afria? There. It's the bottom there, bottom left. I don't know if it's at your left. $19. So we did crack through 19. I don't like 19 anymore, so that's not why I'm bringing it up. I actually like this break here, 1915, 1914. If we can get above, I know we wicked high there to 1923 or so. I just think that we can get above that level there, and we'll take it hopefully to the bank on that, as Palantir still 55 cents in the money and ripping up for us. But we're light. We're light on AMC. We basically have no shares left, so I'll just tell you that. We're just holding it to see what it does and see if we can't get that moonshot like we've already had today. It's been a monster day for us, man. We're going to go 3 for 3 here with a Rocket victory, AMC, and Palantir. And then we'll look to see what Afria does. I wanted to look at Tilray quickly as well. Okay, let's go. There it is. Yeah, so the very, very similar chart. Talked about that in the pre-market. I said that, even when it was at 27 here when we were talking, I thought that was a little too much, man. 7-8% on New Zealand weed seems a little bit high to me. I don't know. Maybe those guys are potheads. But even in Canada here, which probably consumption per capita may be huge. So we got to watch out to see if Tilray wants to go. If that does go, Afria will go. Oh yeah, and by the way, here goes Rocket Ship. We just got some out there at 17. Let's see how high we can go. Looking at some of these pre-market highs of 26, 25, even higher than that, man. We're just there. I mean, yes, sir. A couple good ideas today, man. We're loving life right here, and as we wait. Before I throw it back to Neil, let me just show you what Roblox looks like, just so you guys can understand what's happening right now. Nothing is happening. If you're here for Roblox, we're here for you. We are going to be all over Roblox when it opens up. You can definitely guarantee that. Here it is right here, 10 million shares on the bid. Again, it doesn't really mean anything. All of this will pair off. We'll get an opening price. Right now, I don't know if it's tapping anywhere. I don't see it. So if we do get it here, Brendan, right behind us, will come with any sort of indicative opening price. We do know that 45 is the reference price.
I got to go with this one. It's punching poo-poo and winning one battle, and Square is not poo. But it's poo that 13,000 does not test. Look, it is what it is, guys. If we got a reversal and on the NASDAQ, I said I'm going to get out of that square. I took 237s. You get that $2. And I'm trying to beat up on this Zila. But this is when Sean said it's tearing me apart. And this is not the first time it will happen. And this is now 2 days in a row on this particular stock, and a setup which has worked time and time again for me on the reopen plays. And reopen, I mean sort of post-halt opens. Unfortunately, this is 2 days in a row that it's not going to be holding these levels that we look at. So it reopens, tests about 670. I short on the way back down, risk about 20 cents to see if it can't make 2 to 3x that. And of course, make the top wick, and once again, Zila goes to the downside. So it is what it is. We're taking 3 shots at this stock, and all of them like these paper cuts, but each one, 2 out of the 3, could have been winners if I'd actually expanded the range a little bit on each of those names. I did mention at the top there in Square now, or not Square, on Virgin Galactic, and of course I'm sitting there watching cost, which was a good trade. I said take your profits on space. I should have just shorted the stock myself right here at that 33 range when it came back in. You're seeing that one come down to 32s. I would watch out if we get any major sell-off. A 31.25 breakdown on Virgin Galactic is probably going to be a must if this market falls apart. And I'm talking about the tech specifically. Already 10? Wow. We got to get to Brendan at the big screen for happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock already. Nicely positive still right across the board here. We'll have a look at North American markets. The S&P 0.8%. You can see the Dow right behind it, almost a full percent. 0.9897 right now for the Dow. The NASDAQ leading 2 days in a row here. 1.25%, 1.09% if you're looking at the composite or the 100. Small caps having a nice day again as well. 1.8% to the upside for small caps. Here in Toronto, the TSX about 0.4% if you're joining us in Brazil. 0.6% to start the day down on the Bovespa. Let's have a look at a couple of things that were on the watch list this morning. GE, yeah, I don't think anyone really understands this whole split or reverse split chatter. They took it up to 14.5. We're now down at $13, trying to hold 13. Volume, guys, through the roof on GE so far today. Let's go over one more time here, and we'll have a look at Tesla trying to hold 700. We did get to 720, came all the way back, trying to hold above 700. Big level for Tesla, guys. Back over to you.
So a new position alert, MNOV here, and I do believe third from the bottom, Medica Nova. Breaks the low of the day, and of course this is like a pre-market low level, but it did hold like 920s after holding like 9 even in the pre-market. It breaks 9, and once again, I mean, you get these like stop triggers and you get really lucky because the spread opens up and you can get a fill anywhere. I actually end up with 904 as a bit of a short. Now this stock, it just fell from $11. So you got to think about, you're not necessarily wrong until this thing is breaking like a 950, 970. If you look at post-market action yesterday, which is basically the only levels you're going to be able to see, you can come back into like a 775 where I'd be all flat if you even sniff that price. So I'd be getting out like every like 40 or 50 cents on the way to that 775 with a stop around this 950, 965 area. Do factor in slippage when it comes to this name, the spread on a $9 stock. I'm seeing right now 4 or 5 cents. It has opened up to 10, so I have to make sure my stop order, if I use one in this particular case, at least 15, 20 cents worth of a cross. GameStop's still holding around 285. If that thing breaks and holds below 280, I like the cost short as long as I can catch it at a solid level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just we're just sitting here watching some of these stocks right now, looking to get into something. I'm very, very anxious for Roblox to open up as well. Okay, this is why we dump it. I told you I was light on everything and waiting for that next leg to hit because the NASDAQ's coming down, and yet I don't really love too many of the shorts that have lined up. So we'll wait to see on 25.50 break right there. We'll get out if that does break. So we're going to wait out for that one. That's, again, a 24.50 break. If that comes through on, 25.50, if that comes, which is going to come right now, we'll get out. And we're still going to be really profitable on Rocket because we did dump those out as we noticed the pre-market highs of 25, hoping that it ran through, but obviously did not. So no skin off our back there, but we do have to wait for it to happen. Palantir does, I mean, look at that out. Like I said, that was it. As soon as it broke through 26, we let it run a little bit, and then that's it. And then we'll wait now. So now we have to wait for Palantir to see if it comes back upside. I'm not playing in the middle here. Like you play in the middle here, you get stuck. Obviously it goes up, that's fine, but you do have a problem if it comes to the downside. And I do think that it can retrace all the way to 25. I'm not absolutely in love with Palantir right now unless we get above 26 and hold it. But still, man, 7%, like, you got to be happy with that move. AMC still 9 cents in the money, so we're watching everything rocket to new highs here. What's up, Brent?
We mentioned a couple of names in the solar space that are reporting aftermarket tonight. This is one of them. Rensola up 9%. Initially was a lot higher here, but big reversal underway here. You can see volume coming in as well. First Solar, another one, guys, with earnings coming back to the downside.
And this is why I say trust the process. We talked about it. And again, if you see us like very quickly trying to explain our thought process, it's because we want you guys to see that on Square, it wasn't necessarily about key levels for me on the stock particular. It was about that 13,000 on the NASDAQ and the retest. So if you hang on to it, waiting for it to test 240, which it very well could have, or just blindly say, I'm just going to give it back to a break-even stop, then you miss out on a chance when we rejected off the 13,000 again to get out here at the top at 237. I can tell you we're starting to head down, and I'm not going to, we're going down in Zila as well, but at least MNOV, I actually have this one, unlike Zila, which is the bane of my existence at this point, because I had that one, tried to peg it for the short, and for some reason I can't read the short well. Made money in the afternoon going long on that stock. Maybe that'll have to be the play if it can hold up. But MNOV is heading down. I did get a couple of entries here for a 905 actual price. Shout out to the 905 here, which I'm shouting out to myself. 850 is the first level of profit. That'll take some out in front of like 825, 775 is the next area. For the last third, I'll allow it to bounce off that support or test it before I would get out, whereas the others, I'll just throw a bid in there and hope to get taken out. Oh, GameStop went the other way. Careful, watch out for a 300 break. No way I'm shorting cost now.
We're still long on AMC, and that's coming back upside. GE, incredible volume. Actually, Brendan brought the volume to us, 65 million. I was actually thinking it was going to be a little bit more than that, but still, big volume for, what time is it, 10 o'clock? So, yeah, GE, average volume probably around 60, 70, 80 million. So we're already done that. I like a 13.25 break. Maybe enough is enough on this. Let's just wait to see. I don't like how they guided lower, but I'm just wondering if they've been punished enough here. If you do take it, you have a 13 out, so it's as clear as day there. That makes a lot of sense to me to do that trade. So here we go. We're going to get into GE, hopefully new position alert through 13.25. We will take that long. Roblox, just catching on that. Nothing happening there on Roblox. We will, if we ever see it starting to open up, like I said, Brendan will come with that. There goes AMC, man. I mean, swish, swish, swish. We could talk about DraftKings as well. We've been hammering that one. But there it is, man. A nice little run. Our best out so far today on AMC, 12.16, and still trying to go. Rocket, we still have that. It tests the bottom right where we were trying to get out, and it doesn't go. So we're still holding on to that one. And then just because everyone wants to look at GameStop, why the hell not? Here's a live level 2 of GameStop, guys.
Yes,
and this is what's up with Day Trade the World. Look at this depth that we have. We can see levels for days on this. So you just got to adjust sort of the font, and then you can get that. But there it is, up to 300, and a quick turn back to 291. What up, Beep?
All right, here we go. The first number is out, so guys. We are talking about an indication here, 60 to 65 already, which is not astronomically high, but definitely higher than the 45 indicated for Roblox, guys.
Yeah, and just I want to double down on that that level 2 look. I always try to have one level 2 on the side that I can drop down a little bit deeper and then see like 10, 20, 30 levels down if I can, just to anticipate size. So when I say that GameStop 300, I don't need to wait till GameStop gets to 300 to see it test that level. Now, I'm going to get to CETX in a second. I know you guys are watching it. It popped to 350. I lost shorting 350. I made shorting in front of high day at 4. That's what I care about. But 300 is approaching here. I mean, there's pullbacks every single time this tests like $10 higher on GameStop. But 300 is going to be a monster one. I mean, it could be one of those obvious fail breaks could come through. So I want to be in and out as fast as I can. But I got to take a 300 break to the upside on pure momentum. If it starts squeezing again, you know what it can do. No halts. It's been very, very solid trading, I want to say, in GameStop the last couple of sessions. It's making big moves and staying open, which is exactly what you want to see.
Is doing big things there for Roblox as a GE. Okay, just making sure I have the right triggers out here. Yeah, next I'm not going to be buying any 1380s right now, so we can cancel that one. Okay, so there it is. We just celebrated a little bit of a move there. We got some out. We got in right away. What is my average price here? 25.98 right there on a nice little move up. So into GE and then out. I mean, again, trade your own book, right? I mean, we don't pay any fees here, so you can get in and out pretty quickly. But now that we took a little bit of profit out there on GE, we took out 40% there around 28, 29, and 30. That was the top. So now we hold, man. We see if we can get back to view up. That's where I have some orders parked right now. So we're going to wait to see if that can come through. But right now, GE struggling to the downside. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm out of the money 3 pennies here. We're going to drop it if it breaks below this 13.15 though. I'm actually not going to give it all the way back here to 13. I've talked about not understanding it. I don't understand. Anyways, you've heard enough about that. Brendan.
It's interesting to see some rotation even within sectors. Yesterday we were talking about Solo, one of the little teeny tiny electric vehicle makers. Today, here we go. Go EV. Popping up here on big time volume, up almost 9% here, guys, for Go EV. 2 days in a row for this one as well.
Just quickly adding that one to my quote board, because when Brendan brings it, you know it's usually going to be fire. I talked about 350 and then not taking it, waiting for that $4 on CETX. Now, of course, it doesn't test to the top, but if that's what worked the last time, then that's what I'm going to be all about for sure, guys. And like we go through our process over and over again so that you guys can know what our thoughts are going to be. I still like that GameStop at 3, but I got to go back over to, if I can, to the GE. And I know, Sean, you're in this trade already. 13, whenever 13 is a bottom like this, I'm already looking down towards that bid. Because if there's a scalp trade to be had, I'm talking like 1 million or a couple million shares on the bid. I'm going long at 1, 2, 3, something around those prices and trying to scalp into like the 10 to 20 area. There's almost no way that I'm not looking to make that type of a trade on a stock like GE because its liquidity is so good. Its volume is fantastic. It's the kind of thing when you have direct market access, you'll want to take advantage of. But first things first, you got to be able to see what's going to be down into that book. I actually see some orders that are a little bit deeper, but when it gets closer to that 13, we're going to be all over GE in front of it. 3,000 likes already at 10 o'clock, guys. That's about as good as it gets, and we haven't even sniffed Roblox, which I'm hoping gives us that open. Looks pretty reasonable now. I'll be taking that opening print. If it was over 100, I definitely would not.
You know, 100 seems to be a lot. Valeria, any comments here about those likes?
Always, Sean, someone said on the chat, the bigger the get, the better we get. And that's absolutely true, guys. Please help us get more likes and more subscribers. And we'll continue to improve the show for you and bring you more winning trades. We have 10,000 viewers and only 3,000 likes, sorry. So guys, please click the like button right now.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that, and definitely hit the like button, but don't like it for this GE trade as it's going to fall. There it is. So we took a little bit of profit. We tried it again there at 18. It drops through 15, and we get out. So you're going to see me holding a very, very small piece right now of GE to see if it does test that 13. But, you know, this is why, man, we got out super fast. I said about not really following what was going on with GE today. A lot of volume. I just thought that there could be some retracements back in case we were right about liking the long, but we're wrong. So there it is, in and out, our first loser of the day. So there it is. That is a loser there for GE. And by loser, I mean it's 9 cents. It's hardly that, but we'll wait to see now what GE wants to do on the upside there. And then you know what we can always celebrate? because you guys know it. I've loved this stock for a hell of a long time, and just really stupid that I'm not on it today, because there it is, DraftKings right now, guys, up 9%. And again, pounded the table at 55. Congratulations to anybody that had that with me. And now you're up to the upside here, DraftKings. Wow, a couple upgrades there today that Brendan brought to us early. And man, Brendan brought that early, guys. Like, you could have had anything down here, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Not 69, it's not there yet. Let's go, Brendan.
Yeah, another one with interesting movement so far today, SNDE. If anyone has spotted this one, they actually declared bankruptcy in the pre-market. So this is a bankrupt stock that just went from 140 to 195, pushing to 2 even, trying to hold some of these levels on the daily chart for SNDE, guys.
And if I can give a reason why you want to hit, look, we talk about hitting the likes all the time, but one of the reasons to subscribe is because you want to make sure you're getting notified. You want to be here before the market opens and do your preparation at 8:30, because there's so many stocks that are out there. We talk about our watch list all the time. So many opportunities. Like today, it's like I can have Square, I can have a Disney trade, but then when we talk about the 40-65 break on DraftKings, that's not enough hands to catch every single one, and there you go. So if that was your flavor, we're talking about all these levels, we go over all of our plans, and every now and then there's just too many stocks out there for us to catch them all, but certainly you can hear about them all as long as you're here and prepared. This Go EV, look, if you go to the higher time frame here, it is worth noting it's got some room. It's got some definite room to make a secondary push. I mean, if this gets to like a 15, I will be all over playing a reversal on a stock like this. Another 10% from here, actually 10% plus into this resistance level at 1460. You round up to that 15 area, but it's on my radar. I will be watching it very, very closely, because I like these high flyers that go parabolic, and then if you can fade, they look like good opportunities for me as a short seller if I have a level where I know I'm wrong. And if you don't know where you're wrong and you're shorting against the grain, you're probably going to go bankrupt at some point. Speaking of going bankrupt, it's a little frustrating here. I did try to catch the turn on MNOV. Sitting here in the mid 930s. It goes right to like 920, and I missed that little rollover. So I just had my original entry. I was able to take the 40-cent win for the first third of the position, but I missed that little reload. Didn't quite retrace as far as I wanted to. Still have the same secondary and third targets on this particular name, and will not let it break past the 950.
Okay, Rocket, back to the upside there. And we're going to try to get out of some Palantir calls as well as the S. Superman, Neil likes Marvel. This is DC little action there. Superman is in the building right now. And yeah, Palantir, like, we're feeling ways about this one, man, as I think we should. Anybody that had this with me the last 3, 4, 5 days has been absolutely rolling right now. And here it goes back to the day's high. We're going to, like I said, we're going to see if we get out of some calls that we've been buying. And yeah, it's just been a big monster move up for us today on that name. Roblox still, guys, just to give you a look, still doing nothing, still grayed out here. We'll wait to see if Roblox, there it is. We'll wait to see if Roblox comes in soon for us. And again, that new indicative price, opening price, it doesn't change the reference price of 45, but it is changing where we're looking to open at. I think Brendan said 60, so that'll probably change even more after that. So let's wait to see there. Oh, and GE, yeah, screw you very much. It gets us out there at 15 and then rips right back to 23. We bought back in, so now you can see our average price is 22. I did pick up some at actually right there. I thought I picked up some 19s, maybe I did, but now it's back to 20. Actually, no, I picked up 22s. So now it's back there. We'll see if it defends this little drop again. How far did it go? 12s. We'll give this one to 10 and average in just one more time, maybe like around 16 or 15, something like that. We'll take a little average price there. Rocket went back upside and then stopped at this same level. I'm completely comfortable taking a loss on the last bit. It's a small amount, but it's enough that if it runs, we can make some money. So we're going to wait to see on a 25.50 drop there. And then, like I just said about Palantir, we're just going to let this ride. We still have a small spot. It's very, very small. We're just watching it to see what happens because, again, a 27 break, and this thing goes probably to 30 tomorrow, if not Friday. So let's watch out here on Palantir.
You know, Zeal and I have a love-hate relationship. And just to give you an idea of keeping it real here, guys, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether directionally you're right about something. You've got to make the plays. You've got to have an actual execution plan that's going to work for you. And candidly speaking, I'm up on the day, and it has a lot more to do with Square. It has a lot more to do with cost than it does with Zila, because I started gift horse in the mouth, not taking out that breakout long. It broke 750. I usually scalp that into 775. It turns at 780. right? So I don't take that win. We get out just when it breaks back break even. I get wicked out of this short, which is the reopen off the downhole perfectly. And then, of course, it goes right into the opening range bottom. So the only way to play this is to recognize, and this happened to me yesterday as well, I have to give this one a little bit more room. So if I had given this, instead of like 20 or 30 cents worth of a stop, like 40 or 50, it still gives you 2 to 3x that, so it was worthwhile, but have to be able to adjust that. If I get another shot at Zila, I have to keep that in mind. Of course, this was a fantastic trade to the long side. That's only in play in the afternoon if it holds the bottom like it did yesterday. So 550 breaks, all bets are off for any longs for me in the afternoon, but still in play possibly. Brendo?
Just checking on this Enveric Biosciences, ENVB, one of the biggest volume leaders of the day here. There's a deal involving this diverse biotech. It's involving the cannabis space, guys. So they develop some pain medication, and also they're talking about dermatology-focused treatments that diverse biotech buys from ENVB, which is having quite the day, to say the least here, 120% on over 100 million shares so far, guys.
All right, so this is why we hold Rocket. Let's see if we get some out now at 40. We're offering... Bang. It wasn't a huge trade, so we'll just go a little bit there. We'll wrap it up and go a little higher here. There's the out right there. I mean, look, this is what trading's all about. Hope you're having fun with us here today. We've got big winners on, man. AMC's 21 pennies, still holding on to that one. GE now... HE now back up. We had big shares there on the 25 break and was able to get, there it is right there, big shares. I was able to get them out there in the 30s. Unfortunately, I picked literally the bottom there to get out, and we got out on a break of 15. It only goes as low as, I think, 12 there. So that was a mistake, but we did get back in. When you believe in something, I advise you do that. So now we make it back a little bit. We don't make back everything that we lost, but let's see now if GE wants to go. I'm not going to take this break again. We'll wait to see what it does if it gets back to view up. So right now, Rocket, new day's high right now. Boom, big trade there. Palantir, we could keep talking about it in GE. Let's check out on GameStop right now.
Still near the top.
Yeah. So no surprise there. As all of our, you know what we could check out? You know what's been a little sleeping giant here? Welcome to Canada, guys. BlackBerry now. If you know the former name of BlackBerry, type it in the chat. I want to see how old people are. Okay, so 1055. This is a name again that can go, and we're only up that 2%. Remember the short interest. BlackBerry was one of those names, guys, that started going back in the GameStop days of late January, up to $27 and now faded back in. But like AMC, there it is. You guys are right. Damn it. They're just too smart. RIM. Yeah, research in motion there. So there it is, guys. Crackberry. Yeah, all that. You got, wow. Good job, guys. Wow, it's still going. Blueberry. Yeah, that's more like it.
Of course they know. Of course they know RIM.
Yeah, exactly. So 11.19 here. I just want to bring up BlackBerry. I don't think there's going to be a trade here, but that's a name, again, we'll find out the short interest, but that could go as well. So BlackBerry, one of those names, and then AMC still going to the high side. And then Neil, I mean, I think, are you going to do 300 on GameStop?
I mean, so I have the order locked and loaded, ready to go. And here's the thing about stop orders, and I always have to make this adjustment because if we drift too far away from the price, if it comes all the way to VWAP and you're at 280, then I don't want to stop, to trigger on a 300 break at that point. So it could run up to it too fast. I care about how it goes into that move. I'd like to see it testing the level, consolidation, pullbacks, testing, and then breaking out, right? So trapping some short trades as opposed to like flushing down and getting some of the shorts out there and then make a really quick run. So I have it back in because we're testing towards the highs, but candidly, when it came down to 286, I canceled the order. It came back up. I put it back in. It came back down. I canceled it. Now we're back to go on this 300 break. Now 298 is the current high. I know that. I don't take breakout trades into obvious resistance levels like a 300, which is psychological. And when it comes to the daily chart, there's nothing up here that has too much significance when you're going to go to the daily on GameStop. When it was at these prices, it was kind of all panic zone up here. But we're heading towards that 300 right now. 299. Got to get ready for this trade.
I mean, I have no losers on today, guys. 3.7 only there. Follow me on Twitter as well. But we need to get that to 4. Like, if that's not at 4 soon, like, I mean, we have Rocket, AMC, GE, Palantir, trading a little bit of Ether. Like we're trying to go nuts here for you guys, talking all about Bitcoin as well. Speak of the devil, Bitcoin right now, man, taking new highs right here. 56.5 and going. There's not much to trade as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Those of you that have watched the show for a while, you know that BTCC.B in Toronto is a name that Brendan and I have been buying lately. Yes, sir, Brendan. We're almost back to all-time highs on BTCC.B. And I know Lucas, part of our production team back there, we were talking about maybe rotating in to some BTCC because we can get it in a registered account. So there it is, some bottoms of 9 back when crypto was touching, 48, 49, things like that. And now you're up to 1060. So if you like crypto, BTCC apparently the only true, and I say apparently, but the only true ETF that's basically a one-to-one on your fungibility for Bitcoin. Brendan looking sharp as usual at the big screen.
Should have bought a hell of a lot more as well of that BTCC. Let's talk about small cap world. We stood up here at 925. I was talking about the CETX. 320, 350, I mentioned. Tried this a couple times, but going to be a loser for me. We are stuck in this range. Top end of the range from the pre-market. This support just so strong. There was buyers at 3 that just kept buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. Get the big pop all the way up through to $4. We're back in the middle of the range. So if we do get below 320 again, start working back to the downside, revisit this, but you can see volume already kind of dying off here. Let's go over to one more real quick. MNOV, this one as well. News aftermarket yesterday, we were significantly higher than that in the pre-market. 1150, a couple of points here of reference that we were working off of. Tried this once just before the open. If it doesn't work, get out of the way. Just take a little loss. 1150 comes into play, or almost comes into play. Gave you, all the opportunity in the world to get somewhere around a 1050 average. This is now breaking 850. So 1050 down to 850, 50-cent risk on that trade if you structured it properly. MNOV, a nice one today, guys. Still trending downside. Back over to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you that breakout trade on GameStop. Now, the thing about a break, I'm always going to get out on that first momentum push because it's a breakout style trade. I don't want the hard reversal fail break to burn for me here because a lot of times what will happen is you use more shares on a breakout because you anticipate it's going to be a short duration trade. It went to 304, but the initial stall was right here. I didn't think I had a chance to really actively with my hands get 304. So I got 301.50 and 301 as my exit prices. Then when I tried to hold the final third, it was break even right at that 300. We were able to get out. And that's the thing. It immediately reverses. If you don't want to lose $5 on a trade like that and it never gave you $5, you got to be very careful. Certainly worth it as long as you had a plan in GameStop. But the last time it failed, at a level like this to try and take out the top and then couldn't retest it. It did test the lows a little bit later on in the session. So if we have not broken this by 11 o'clock and I'm talking 300 again, I would watch out below on GameStop, at least some of those temporary lows. And there goes MNOV, now 60 cents in the money. It's finally broken 850.
Okay, yeah, so here it comes in. Unfortunately, we have these wicks upside here on the daily chart for Apple, but there it is. They're touching that 120 short. We hit the siren. It's just a new position. It's not a heavy spot here because we know about Apple and we know the NASDAQ. I'm not going to take Apple at the very, is everything okay? At the very drop there. Yes, it is. Okay, good job, Robbie. At this drop, I just heard some talk in the background. I was like, is we okay? Okay, so now we go short on Apple. I'm only going to give it back to here, basically like VWAP, 120.70, something like that. Our plan was to try to take this and hold it a little bit on the downside, just in case the NASDAQ did continue to puke. So we're going to wait. Look where the NASDAQ just stopped, though. And again, I'm not sure what levels Arun was talking about, but 12,800 right there held. That was the bottom in the pre-market. So we'll see what happens there if we retest it. But again, I wanted to get into something. We realized that Apple was, obviously a little more negative than the market. So we did take that on that break. So now let's hold it a little bit. It's not going to be any difference to our net really, but obviously we want to have a winner. So let's hold this a little bit more than we normally would and see if we can't retrace back just in case we're right about this NASDAQ, and we'll take like 25.50, then hopefully $1 on Apple to the downside. Everything else pulling back in obviously on this NASDAQ move down, guys.
Yeah, and when we talk about things that are pulling back, MNOV, and I'll care about what the market is doing when we're trading the squares of the world, but a lot of these sort of retracement, high flyer, smaller cap names, you don't care too much. But if the market really, really reverses, sometimes the shorts that you have can be really good. Unfortunately, there was an iceberg, and there still is an iceberg, so it sort of tricked me here. I was going to get some shares out in the 825 range, try and catch like an 80-cent win. But I saw an iceberg over and over again holding 850. When it looked like it was about to break, I did manually get out of some shares there. And then, of course, they pop right back on the offer. So looks like this one's still pretty good, even though I just took some out. Brendo, what's up, bud?
First alert here on the downside for EV names. Ride, the first one. Big volume alert here. You can see volume coming in on the sell side. So through 18 there, or it didn't actually even get back to 18. I guess it was 1750 maybe. All the way down to 1720 now for Ride, guys.
Okay, and we be a little. What kind of English is that? We'll wait to see if we can slay Apple there. We waited. We saw this move coming to the downside right now. So the NASDAQ continuing its push down. Like I said, man, we're really. I mean, I could dump these AMCs. I'm really just holding these positions here on AMC. We were out of this trade. We're just holding a small position just to see what it does. So if you do see that come on board, welcome to the show if it's your first time. But I've been talking about AMC, Palantir there. I just talked about getting out of some options as we ripped up to that upside there, and that was our best out. Now you're retracing back down, and if you guys remember what I said about Palantir, like how easily this drops when the NASDAQ gets going, man. This is such a high growth name, and there's a lot of expectations on Palantir, and they're going to need everything to work out for them. So when the market starts retracing back, it gets super laggy, like, because you're still up that 4%, right? I mean, and the NASDAQ could turn red. So you got to be very, very careful. If the NASDAQ gets heated up, then yeah, this is the name you want to go to, and I will return to it. So there's no doubt about that. That's why I'm holding it. I want to see where this thing goes. We're back into this level where we could start to buy again. So very, very cautious of this Palantir dip. We're looking to get longer down here, I think.
Oh, yeah, we're about to turn red. I agree with you there, Mike Bibby. And I'm going to go on a limb and say you might be an Arizona fan. We're from Arizona. If you are, let us know in the chat. We talked about some of these names that were making pushes to the upside. And we did say, it is what it is. We talked about that Virgin Galactic take profit off. But now we're crushing through like that 31. Oddly enough, GameStop. And I said if it couldn't break that 300 again, I would like it to make a sharp retracement. It's actually making another test. That back up at 295. But all kinds of weakness abound. You see some of the more aggressive names to the downside, like a space, and this is a key price area for it around this $30 level. It was a bit of a floor previously. If it cracks that, and we're making fresh lows, wow! Especially going into 1 o'clock, if things don't go well with that 10-year Treasury auction, Virgin Galactic is going to crack through that 30, and it's going to be no floor.
Okay. Palantir dropped a little bit more than I was thinking it would. 24. I mean, this is probably right here a decent buy. Let's buy a little bit now at 06. So there we go. We hit the trigger right there. Live trading for you at 06. We just bought it. You guys saw that. So let's see now. I did want to go longer if we broke back above this 31 level, but then it just black out all the way down to the downside there. So watch out. This 75 will be my out now. 24.75. We'll try it. Again, we're already short Apple. We've talked about that. And then we'll try right now. We just took some 06s. We'll try to buy here on Palantir. Where there was a big buyer there with us, but this stock is getting cracked. But we do know there's buyers here. We're still up 4%. These little tick downs 95. I think we'll try there again as well. So we'll average into it. And because we have an out, we have 24.75. Like, we're not taking these stocks to the grave, guys. We're just going to see if the market does rebound. I like Palantir, and if I don't get some shares now, then I will be paying like up here. So it's worth the risk for me to take this with like a 75-cent risk, 25-cent risk on the downside to this 24.75. So just be patient with it, guys. Our Apple is moving, obviously, in the right direction to the downside as the NASDAQ's cracking. And for some reason, like, Apple's actually not going down now. So I don't know. Now I don't know what's happening.
Honestly, I was about to say the same thing. I mean, Apple, of course, I'm looking at DoorDash here. Apple is confounding me, but DoorDash, I mean, we talked about the shorts on this particular stock, and if we flush and go into negative territory in the NASDAQ, and DoorDash has not taken out that 140 level, and of course it held 140 before, 140. 140 was just an unbelievable week-long base going back into the early in the year and sort of late December, early January. If we break that on DoorDash at a 140 and the market's heading and actually turns negative, I like that breakdown. But Apple is confounding me holding those lows. Actually, not confounding me. I'm actually liking this a little bit.
Yeah, or guys, I would say let's do Palantir. So, okay, there it is if we don't get it. Okay, Apple now, again, you know what? Maybe we got to drop this stock because Apple right now just not moving the way. We thought it would crack there, so let's get out a little bit there. We just put out an order and got out some at 20 there. This is a 20-cent hit on Apple. Like, I'll take that all day, please, and thank you. So that's a good one. And then now comes back Palantir. Here we go again, guys. You saw me take that live, so, you know, 06s, it goes back up to 20 there. Might have been a good spot to get out. I still think that we could retest this 30 level. Yeah, we're going to have to wait to see how far Apple wants to fall down. I don't know if it will. Let's put some orders now, 18, 19 or so here on Palantir and just get out because it's moving around. Did we just get those 18s? No, we did not. There it goes. Come on, give me 18s there. Why didn't I just mark it out there? We'll wait for 18s on Palantir. Here it comes. Give it to us. There it is. Out. A nice little out there on Palantir. So more money spinning. You guys saw me take that at 06. Diamond hands, not trying to have them. So we get in there, a quick little 15 cents. And now we're going to go longer at 25.30 on that break. If that can happen, then watch out for VWAP back to this little area, 50 again. So we'll see if that happens. But hey, a win's a win, man. We'll take this right now, 15 cents on Palantir.
Yes, sir. And look, I was on MNOV when the push happened on CETX. It breaks that 4 even, so I don't get the breakout trade at 4 because I was a little bit preoccupied. It goes right to 420. That's a good number, so we'll give you that scalp win. Look, you miss it, you miss it. But whenever it fails, so it doesn't get to the 425, next obvious level. When it comes right back in, I'm looking for consolidation short off that previous high at 4. I just started this one at 84. I'd certainly take more shares in the 90 range, but you want an average price. I want an average price if it retakes 4 even of like the low 90s, right? Like what I had before was 85s or sorry 89s, and I want something in that like low 90s range. So I will be a little bit patient before I add into this position, and I'm still tracking that GameStop. It cannot seem to break back towards that 300. It just failed at 95 and heads down. And the downside of being patient with CETX is, yeah, it could go right here all the way down to VWAP, and I missed my shot to build a bigger position at a couple of times here. But you got to be willing to do that. That's part of risk management. If you chase the entire thing too far, it blows up your risk profile. Brendan?
10:30, coming up in 45 minutes. Don't go anywhere because we have a great guest coming up today. Eurosun Mining President and CEO Scott Moore are going to come by and talk about Eurosun Mining's current activities and some very exciting developments that they have to announce this week. So stick around, 11:15, Eurosun Mining coming through. There's about an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V's watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly in a positive territory, supported by upbeat earnings reports. Adidas trading in Germany is up more than 4% after it forecast a strong rebound in sales in 2021. Back to you.
Yeah, positive sentiment across the board, guys. Especially, you know, we're trying to get towards Roblox, but hopefully we can get it before the end of the show, guys.
Yeah, I just saw 65 and 70 now, Brendo. Okay, here it is, man. Hot dog. Oh, it's not the cannon. Oh, I'm going to have a good one for you here. Get ready, guys. You know what this is. If you haven't watched it, watch out. Where's it going to hit? The back of my head now? No. There, that's for you, Rob. Okay, so now Palantir goes back to the upside there. Look at this, man. 25.06. Like, what? I mean, you saw me hit the key. You know, other people will fake their trades. Other people will say, you know what, I'm going to post a big number. I just made 500 grand today. Okay, fine. But the point is, that's not realistic for many of us. So we're just going to talk about where we get in and where we get out and why we like these trades. So hopefully you can put whatever share size you want on some of these trades and follow me, follow Neil, whatever. Any of the education is what it's all about. There's a big trade there, man, 25.06. I mean, it's not huge because we were waiting for a dip down lower like we talked talked about. But I mean, you guys know what we're doing on Palantir, and the damage continues there. So a nice little in, out, and we busted through 31. I mean, I'm even giving you guys the prices. So there it is, guys, up to the high side there, 25.40, 25.37. Let's see where Palantir goes now. I mean, the market's coming back down here. We did get rid of a little bit of our Apple right there. This is not a huge position. It did go back into the money for us, downside since then to 90, which is 10 cents. So we're not, going crazy there. Rocket still 18 cents in the money on that battle back. And then I did dump some, which may be a little bit of a mistake. Oh, we have that bad wick down there. So we're back into GE. You can see the price 22. It's at 29. So GE making money for us as well. I mean, this day can't get more perfect other than us waiting for Roblox. And if you want to know what that looks like, RBLX looks like this right now. So we're waiting for it to open. Hopefully it does open. Like, imagine it opened right now. How exciting would that be? We'd have it right on our screen. But there goes Roblox waiting for the open, Neil.
That would be amazing. And we've talked about this before. Why can't they just give like a countdown, like, hey, we're gonna open it by this particular time? Everyone gets their orders in locked and loaded. I mean, if we can sit here and analyze our levels and make our decisions, and traders, we're all smart enough to be able to do that. You would think everyone else would be too. Speaking of plans, I showed you guys if it broke 4 on CTX, I would get out and then look for a test of that 420. Now it gets to 4. You see this at 419. Does not break. I wait for it to come back down. Look, if I get it on the way up, am I short at 417, 418? Yes. But that's not the way I want to enter that particular trade. I get it at 410 on the way back down. This is really tight. Even on a 1 minute chart, it's kind of hard to see. I get some out at 4 even. I get some out at 95, 94, trying to make that cash back. If it goes to 375, I'll probably have just about everything but 20% out of it. I do expect with an upward trend that it could make a retest to the top. And if 75 holds, you could get that 420 breakout in the afternoon or at some point, maybe even close. If we hold 350, now keep in mind we talked about this one with Zila, and I want to make sure I say this now. If we can hold VWAP or even this 330 level throughout lunchtime, this will be a hell of a break at 420. That worked on Zila 450 in the afternoon. I finally got a winning trade in that stock, and it was the only way I could win. So I'll file that away on CTX. For now, to 410, I just got some out there for a 30-cent win. But remember, I didn't lose on that initial short. And so I have mixed result here. Lost in the short, made on the secondary push, lost on the first short, made on the secondary push. So what I'm noticing is the fade play is not working so well as getting the short off the absolute top. So that's what we'll go with. I'll be all out at VWAP for a 50 to 60 cent win for sure. That's the plan of action. I'll show you guys the wins and the losses. I just put in front of like 50 instead of 60, which is what I wanted to do here. So get that bid in front of that 60 and then see if we can't get out of CETX. So shooting 50% on this particular name, but follow your rules and do not sleep on this in the afternoon either.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on anything. This is going to be a very, very aggressive market like it was yesterday afternoon. We touched 5% or almost 5% on the NASDAQ, I believe, anyways. And then today, like a monster move up on ADP, comes out, touches 13,000 on the NASDAQ, and now comes back down in right to this level that we talked about. We'll see what was going to happen because 12,830 does not hold. This bottom does not hold. The bottom in the pre-market there, I mean, the bottom after this move up does not hold. So, yeah, just watch out. That's all. You can't. All you can do is really be cautious. Okay, we did take some more shares here on Palantir. We took some 25.12s there as it dips back down. I didn't want to get too impatient with it. I mean, we could have waited for 05s. I do have some more orders on the downside, like down here, to get it. And then if it does break back down below, and again, we're just going to use these little wicks. That might, I mean, that might not be aggressive. It might be too lame to get out right there. But again, if this market goes, we can see what, I mean, this is a big move down on the NASDAQ, but Palantir, like this is like not even 1% of a move down, and Palantir retraced like 3% back down. So you got to be about 2% back down. I think this was up at 1.6. So it retraces all the way back down. So you got to watch out. So we will take another little bit here, and then we'll watch out for this average at 2470 and change there. There it is. So you see there, I mean, just like we said, there's the take on Palantir. So now we have shares. We won't give back our day, that's for sure, but it'll be a hit. if we come back down to the downside, we probably average in maybe one more time if we can, right near this last spot that we got this. That was 90. I mean, here we come. Yeah, let's not average in. Let's just take our beat down if it does come through. Look at this making moves downside. Here comes Apple. So Apple making me feel a little bit better because we still have that short on. So this is a cash, but right now Palantir is not a cash as it's coming back to the downside. We just took 96s. Let's see if it can hold. But yeah, getting nasty. What's up, Neil?
Now, before we go to sector watch, I can't wait for DoorDash. If we're testing through 12.8, the NASDAQ's going down. I got to short it right here, right now. It just broke this level at 141.50. So I'll take a first crack here in front of that 142 and then have a look at 140 when it gets there. But it is 10.40. I want to make sure you guys knew about that trade because I just saw the floodgates opening up on Dash. Already $1 in the money here. Now let's go to Brendan at the big screen for Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, a little bit deceiving once you see this board once again. Yeah, widespread buying, very, very positive looking board, but we are obviously off the highs of the day, just 0.3% now for the overall S&P 500. Energy stocks here among the leaders, healthcare as well, really, really strong today, the entire group. The equipment makers, pharmaceutical names as well, basically all in positive territory. Down here, the material stocks as well, ALB, CTVA and IFF, 2.5% to kind of 4.5% to the upside. Diversified financials, have a look at Ben, 6.5%, BEN having quite the day leading that group. The individual banks, pretty much all in positive territory, 1.25% there for CMA to the downside. That's pretty much it. For negativity, insurance group, the entire thing positive as well. There's GE, now 6.3%. In negative territory. Not a good day for GE after those announcements this morning. Some of the travel names here as well. There's Southwest, there's UAL, there's AAL there as well, all in negative territory. So some of the travel names that we've seen strong over the past couple of sessions offsetting some of the strength as well. Tech shares are higher, but quickly losing ground here. So semiconductors were leading at one point today. You can see a lot of red names popping up here. Micron among those guys, 2% to the downside. ENPH there, also among the leaders to the downside, or in positive territory, I should say. 5.5% for ENPH. Consumer discretionary names, eBay standing out 2.5%. To the downside. Here's the cruise lines as well. Keeps changing with the tech shares, but cruise lines all in the red as well, guys. 0.37 now for the S&P. Back over to you.
Oh, man.
And we'll do the whiz, as Sean likes to call it here. But I tried to get in very quickly before we went to Brendan, that DoorDash when it broke down. It broke that 142, that 141.50, and that's as far as I was willing to chase it on this little consolidation break. I do take it out for some for the dollar win. Once it broke 140, I'm in hold mode. But it's worth noting in just going to the higher time frame to my 15-minute. If you do go back, you can see in the afternoon a pullback to 138 that holds. A couple of times last week, we're able to see at the end of the week 138 holding. So if we bounce off 138, it'll go ahead and take the $3 if I can get it down there. But I want to give this back to 142 if we're going to continue to test lower in the overall market. I mean, DoorDash was a name that I think we could beat up on. I just wish. It's one thing when you have a bit of a bias on a stock, and I'm talking about Virgin Galactic here, to say take profit, but I should have jumped into that short. It's almost inexcusable. I looked at it at the high of the day and went to other names instead, and sort of sick to my stomach. In the move down, I should always look for relative strength, follow it away. Of course, we've talked enough about DraftKings, but look how well it's holding up. Do not ignore something like this, especially when the market rebounds. Watch for the top end breaking once again on DraftKings. That'd be a 68.25.
I mean, sometimes you just don't get good luck, man. I mean, and there it is. It breaks through that 6. Like I said, I was probably getting, I probably was using this level incorrectly there. We should have used 50, man. That was the pre-market low. We didn't use that level, so we got hit. I mean, the worst part about it is we got out at 66, and then I had to basically, once I saw that was a bullshit, not a good out, I just bought it back, and then now we're getting back out. So we make it back, but like we should never have lost in the first place, and then we'd be up double than what we have now, because now I'm just making back right now. Long 80s and long 85s there, and then out 11s, out whatever this last eights, out eights there. So, off of this, our average price, as you guys know, was about, I think it was 02 or 03. So then we got out there at it was lower than that because we took 2 fills there, whatever it was, but we take about like a 30-cent hit there. And now ripping back to the upside, we're at about a 25-cent win rate now. So we did take some of those out. And then now I'll get a little more long. And then this time we'll use 24.50. That's my bad on that one. We should have just, damn it, we should have used 24.50 as that out there. But we didn't, and that is that trade there. We tried it for you, and it missed, but that's fine. We're going to be back on you, Palantir. Don't worry about that. Okay, Square, 229. Square does have an epic drop as well. Like, all of these stocks basically went right back to pre-market lows, giving us just glaring opportunities to buy. 226 was a great buy there on that dip for Square. We'll have to pay attention to that and look at that a little longer. CCL also, man, $27 bouncing around. Shout out to Daryl. I know he trades CCL all the time. Big drop off the open and now basing out down here as well. So we're just going to regroup. We're going to find some good trades. Everything is fine. It's just, I cannot believe what I did on Palantir there. Sometimes you're going to make those mistakes, guys. Oh, and that was the other thing. GE. This is the other thing. When the market started tanking there, we got out right here at 10 again. But this was a flat trade because we went long 21s and even here 18s and then got some out 29s. 25s, and then, 26s. So it's close to a flat trade. GE, just because we're honest, right? GE is a negative stock for me today because we did have this drop, which hurt the most. We're hoping for a VWAP retracement back, guys.
Yeah, so anyone asking when the bond auction is, it's at 1 o'clock, and if I can find it, I do have a PDF from the Treasury. You can always look it up on their website to see the schedules. And I think they're getting more important now. And I think we ignored them in the past, and now we certainly have to talk about it. I got to go to GameStop is retesting these highs. Now, it had trouble in this 295, 296 area the last couple of times since that breakout, which, look, even though I made money on the break at 300, it's only because I scalped it out. That's a failed break in every sense of the word because it never extends through 05s. It essentially comes right back in and gives you a retracement all the way to VWAP. So a bit of a failed breakout on the scalping side or the short-term side. Overall, it's a good bounce. It might have a shot to take it out again. I'm not going to go long through 300, but I am going to go long through 305. Right? So I don't want it failing at the same price before, but I'll take another swing at this one through 305 on GameStop if it wants to take out the high. I'm looking for places to go long. I'm just going to hang on to my dash short, going to hang on to my short MNOV, and then look for a momentum play to the long side. If we're going to hold this 1280, there are some good bottom picks that you can go with. I'm noting DraftKings' strength still holding at the tops, and I kind of almost prefer to play over in that particular name, but very likely GameStop could be the next thing for me here.
Okay, so you know what, guys? Thank you for all the positive talk there. Someone said, don't worry, Sean, I've made over 50, here it is, here. Dustin, thank you so much for all that. Yeah, I mean, we're still hella positive, but it's just, when you take that one hit there, I mean, look where we are now. I mean, it's multiples of dollars that would still be in the account, but it comes out because it breaks that 75, and it's just so ridiculous. But thank God we got back in. Like, we would just be cruising right now, and we're still fine. This is now a 33-cent win. So, yeah, make back what you lost. So it's fine, no problem. But the point was that I just wish I didn't dump that. So that is what it is. We'll just move on. We hold out on Rocket, which seems to be a good play. That drops down to 25.70. We're still long right here at 26. So it's small, and we're small in it. So Apple drops down. This was kind of the proxy for the market. I actually had a bid at 57. It only went down as far as 65 there with this market falling down. So we did have a little bit of protection there in case the market did fall, which was, again, another reason to get out of Palantir because we knew that we did have, in case the market dropped, I wasn't going to let the Palantir just keep multiplying up as Apple goes to the downside. But Brendan, you got something else, bud?
Another one that was active in the pre-market here, guys, XL Fleet in the EV space as well, now positive 3.3%. I believe it was this day, the volume spike on the daily chart there. Muddy Waters came out with a short report on XL Fleet. They were talking about it again this morning in the pre-market, reiterating their short position on that name, guys.
Muddy Waters doing what Muddy Waters does, and look, it is what it is. We can joke around about these short sellers. They do what they do. I can come back to that, Zila, if I can here. And this would be one of those situations where, look, I have to if we're going to talk about some strategy and what we're thinking here, if I'm looking at the fact that I don't get wicked out and I am still in this short trade, I would have likely taken it out in front of this like 565, but if you're still holding it, it does bounce off this 30. It is trying to test back above that 65 area, so you do want to watch out and not give away profits. If you traded this one post-halt for that weakness, it definitely gave it to you. There's no ignoring it. Yet I will have made top wick since that halt reopened. And it is what it is. It's going to happen to you. Thankfully, we're still up on the session. Now, DoorDash, I could have taken, and look, this was a pre-market low here at 139. And the only reason that I didn't get out of more shares when it broke that 139 was because of the significance psychologically or just in the past of that 140 level. And of course, the second it gets back to it, and this is exactly what happened the last time for like 5 days in a row that it held that 140. It wasn't as if there was a massive iceberg order every single time. Someone would pop in there at 140 and hold it for a little bit. It would break, never catch an offer below it. Then they'd come back on the bid, and they would just this cat and mouse happened over and over again. So I'm going to allow that to play out, which is why I want to give it back to 142. Now, if it breaks the low, it can't break that 138. I got to take the $3, like I said. But for now, I want to hang on to this DoorDash short. It's been so weak, and when you get that reprieve bounce, it just felt like fading it made a lot of sense. And I kind of wish I had this one on the brain and could have caught the 145 rollover. But just because you missed the first entry, if there's a second or a third, you got to be able to take it. If you like the setup, you've got to take the setups that you like here. So, no disdain over missing out on some other trades in DoorDash. We got this one on here, and it's now in the money a couple of bucks. I'm looking for minimum 3 if it bounces off 138. But if that 38 breaks, we could easily see a 135. Let's go to Money Talks right now with Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, let's talk about Bitcoin. First off, we'll show you the chart on that side. Once again, the high up here, 58,445. So we are getting back towards that area, 56,289 currently for Bitcoin. We are up nicely on the day, 3.6%. You can see 56,302, 289, take your pick. Ethereum as well, also positive. Look at Ripple though, lagging a bit, 3.5%. Downside for Ripple today. Everything else very quiet as far as the actual currencies versus the US dollar today ahead of that 10-year auction coming up this afternoon. So also going to affect the currency. So everything basically flat to slightly lower versus the US dollar that is kind of holding where it was at the end of the day yesterday. Japanese yen, Swiss franc a little bit higher. You can see Australia, New Zealand dead flat. Turkish lira down full percent. But wait and see game in currency land today, guys. Back to you.
Sure is. And this is why, guys, we had that Apple trade. We just took it out at 81 there. It's just a small little win. It's only 20 cents. But again, helping to protect some of the longs that we had. And on that note, we're light. We're out now. I mean, Palantir, that comes back. We get out. Look at all these outs, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we're holding small right now on Palantir, looking to get some more shares if we do retest back downside. And then not to be too stubborn, we're going to use 24.50 this time as our out. So we'll see if that can hold. Oh, I did see, we got a couple super chats there. One of them was, what do I think about Google long term? I think that you should be buying like you're shot out of a cannon on Google as much as you possibly can. I think that it's the longest position that it's Google or Disney. I'll check. I keep saying every day, one of them is my number one holding, but I'll find out that. And again, if you just look at what Google's been doing here, guys, it's holding up super well. Like even in that NASDAQ route that we've had lately, it's holding this 2,000. So, I mean, there's other stocks, Apple, Amazon, the different names like that are huge market caps and big cap tech that aren't holding up as well as Google. So I love Google. I mean, who doesn't use their products pretty much every single day? I think you probably do, guys. So, and so do I. So we're going to be long on Google for quite a while. Miss V at the screen.
Hey Sean, chat is concerned about what's going to happen to AMC after their earnings report today after market. Could you guys share your expectations and thoughts about tomorrow's trading AMC?
Okay, I can go first here. I mean, look, AMC. We've talked about that over and over and over again. I made decent amount of cash on AMC today. I think it's a great trade. And again, thank you for the super chats, guys. If you throw out the super chats, then we can definitely motivate Valeria. Okay, there's a nice out on Apple, 50-cent win there on the downside as the NASDAQ is just throwing up all over itself here. So AMC, the big thing that I'm looking at here for AMC really is just where they're going to guide, if there's anything new that they want to tell us that maybe they haven't in the past. It's not move. I mean, how could they have monster earnings? I don't see it. We're a little biased here in Canada. We don't have anything open right now. So, that's not true. There is some retail that's open just on Monday. We just finally are allowed now to have like 2 or 3 people in a store. I think it's 25% capacity. So some of those little stores. Anyways, I would just wait for AMC. I wouldn't take a position ahead of earnings. If I was going to be in AMC, it would just be for the same kind of stuff that's happening right now. Just be in it because you believe there's a push into options expiration, which is in a couple weeks. We even have we have weeklies going off tomorrow. What day is today? Wednesday. On Friday, we have weeklies going off. So there's lots happening in AMC. And for me, don't take a trade if you're expecting them to announce, record profit. I mean, I don't see it. We have to wait to see what's going on with it. So for me, AMC, like we talked about with Mark, I think 7 is good, 8 is good. A retracement back to here, I think you could start buying. And then if you're lucky enough to buy near 5 or 6, I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that is if you have one of the swing entries that happen here, and I don't, but you look at like a 950 or that 850 swing, either one of those is a take profit situation going into earnings. And I would go a step further into saying, it could be a take profit situation going into this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Of course, not necessarily that you're going to see a massive move in some of these other themes when it comes to like your reopened names or maybe your GameStops, your meme stocks. But look, if we can't hold 1.5 in the yield in the 10-year, then you could actually see just a lot of sell-off across the board. So if you get a chance to take profit even before the close, it's not the craziest idea in the world to me. I do want to go back, if I can, to DoorDash, and I'll show you, and maybe we'll show the level 2 in a quick second here, not the level 2, the imbalance locator in a quick second on Roblox, because it is creeping up a little bit. But there's a hold at 138.50. It's not quite to that 138 test that I wanted to see, and we got like that $3 in the money, almost barely there on our 141.40 short. It's enough for me to give a trail back to this like 140.70 level to like 141, not to turn this into a loser. The market's trying to hold the bottom. But look, if we can't make another push down here, ultimately it's very, very close to where my level was. And on DoorDash, when it has a spread of like 20 or 30 cents, you can't worry about the fact that it tested 138.50 instead of 138.10. Like, it's very close to the same thing. So I will move my stop down a little bit here on DoorDash just to make sure we don't have this winning trade turn into a loser.
We're still, as we stay hydrated, what's up to Shakib? If you're watching, buddy, we're staying hydrated with you, so don't worry about that, right? 4,000 likes, if we can get there, we're very, very close. I see somebody mentioning it there on the chat. A shout out to you, pro day trader. We'll get up to that. There's that level that I was excited about. Okay, we got out, yes, Palantir and Apple. Okay, so right now our net is starting to climb again, so everything's fine. There it was there, a nice out on Apple. Now we only have that's 20. No, that's more than that. I don't have that many shares. 20, 40. No, this was 40, 68. Whatever, doesn't matter. I have 20% left. My math is all jumbled right now. Apple, a good little proxy, like I said, to the downside. So we make money on Apple. Now we're holding a small piece just in case. We'll watch to see if it breaks back above VWAP. We down. And then now we have big win for us now. Finally, frying up the wins again on Palantir. I hate that we got stopped out there, but we went back in, so it's fine, but we give up that 20 cents there and take the realized hit, right? This isn't tax sale losses here, man. This is like a real hit there. We take a hit, but we get back in. If we just still had that, then, we would be just to the moon right now. But 25.25, here comes another break on Palantir. The market's coming back. Like we said, we had no problem trading Palantir into this dip. And the reason why, we know, we've been trading this a lot, obviously, and we know the way it trades. So it's just got nervous there that the NASDAQ was going red and everything was turning around. We've seen Palantir drop to 23, 22.50, things like that. Just had fears of that coming back in. Once we see the rejection on that bottom, we get back in. And then now look, a little bit of a rebound in the NASDAQ. This is nothing. Look at this move. Huge move down. Look at the move back. It's almost nothing. And bang, Palantir gives us like from 70 up to 21. Like that's a 50-cent move there, which is pretty big. I mean, some of those moves aren't even 50 cents at the beginning of the day. So that's a nice little retracement back. We know they love the name. We just need the market to get going for Palantir to go back up to 25.20 here. I may just get, yeah, you know what? I'm going to hold the rest, but I do want to get longer if we come backside there on Palantir. And then come on, Roblox. We have our guest of the day coming up too soon. So hopefully Roblox can hit soon, and we'll see how we can trade that. Roblox right now looks like, I'll call it up for you.
Yeah, so, Sean, I have it on my screen already because I knew we were going to have to go here because it's 11 o'clock. We don't know when it's going to open, but I do see it's still at 2.8 million buy imbalance here. So it's the paired volume is staying at about 6 million. What will happen is, of course, they're looking to get that imbalance down to as low as possible before opening it up. So we might not catch this one for a little bit until this starts to get to the downside, but there still is a lot of open interest. And then the auction price hasn't really moved off that 65 level. So we're looking at a 65 open and still a significant buy imbalance on Roblox. We'll get that to you live if we can, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And when we're ready with the trade review, we'll hit that. We are going to review a trade of the day. And right now it looks like we'll be talking probably about Palantir, but we're hoping that Roblox can come through and we can discuss that in a little more detail. If Roblox doesn't come through, we'll look to see if we can put a trade review together anyways at some point. But again, it's tough. We'll see what happens with the guest of the day. There's Apple. I just decided to take it out. I'm thinking that the NASDAQ may have bottomed there. You know, again, back to these numbers right before the ADP hit. So I'm wondering if that's the bottom, and if so, I'm not holding Apple. So bang, bang, bang. We'll go for a little boom right there as Apple continues to, you know, give us a little bit of profit there on the downside. So that was a good trade. And the reason why we're doing that is now we only have 2 longs as we wait for Roblox. It's 11 o'clock. I like to get light at this time. So right now, Palantir, 33-cent winner, and Rocket, 25 cents, Brendan.
A little Chinese name getting some attention here, guys. Volume coming into this Ant, which is AirNet Technology. AirNet Technologies in the tech space over in China just broke $5 there, which is a recent high. We got up as high as 8 and change there going back a couple of weeks ago. But volume, the story here on Ant, guys.
Yeah, I'm not calling that Ant. That is ANTE, Annie up. You know what to do with that. Kidnap that fool, everybody. Look, this is it's actually a pretty good looking chart here. And anytime you can see some structure like this, you got to pay attention to it. Volume spike, break through 480, pull back, hold at 480. Look, almost without even looking, I can tell you guys, I'm going to be looking for a short if we can hold below this 475 area on a particular stock like this. Keep in mind, whoops, and well, this is still on cost. Why did my level 2 not move? I'll just have to go manual on this. There we go. I'll give you guys a look at level 2. For a $5 stock, it's on 10 million shares. This is not a ton of liquidity. We had an awesome guest here live for you because that's what we do around here with Trader Sam and talking about liquidity mattering. And if you ever want to level up on your trades, you want to scale up, always have an idea of what liquidity looks like. So while you might be looking at like Sundial when it moves or AMC when it moves, and you can take tens of thousands of shares, understand that it's a $5 stock, but taking 10,000 is going to be a little bit different here. So all that means I immediately like a 475, but when I see that liquidity, I had to adjust my thoughts and want to know a little bit deeper. Of course, if I take it blindly, is it going to work out? Yes. When I went to level 2, I was like, oh, this is way thinner than I would have anticipated, despite the volume that it had. So I didn't throw the order in. Turns out that was the wrong play, but you have to have an understanding of risk parameters. And if I want to give something like 25 cents worth of risk, I have to look at how are you going to be getting out and what's going to look like when it gets there. Way more thin than I anticipated on ANTE. Annie up.
Yeah, and again, Apple, it looks like, I don't think we made a mistake, but Apple just, I don't know what happened there. It got flushed down to 119.50, and I was going to tell you guys, like, my bad on getting out right there, but then it just ripped back up. So again, the NASDAQ makes that move, and here we go again. Superman is in the building because Palantir now breaking these levels. We're still long down here, 87. This is a 45-cent winner. So we're just getting back-to-back jacks right now as Rocket also to the upside with a nice little 50-cent win. So right now, 40 cents for both. 45 for Palantir, 45 now for, well, it depends on where Rocket goes. What are we long at? Oh, yeah, we're long sub. So, yeah, 40-cent win right now for Rocket and a 40-cent win, 50 cents now and ripping up higher for Palantir as it wants to go. It's very surprising that I didn't look at AMD today. Normally, this is a stock that I like to look at. I have to do some work because, you know, AMD is like NEO, where it has these big moves off the open, and then if it bases out, you can catch a nice move to the upside. However, today, that move wasn't super nice. It didn't retrace all the way back up. So if you were excited about AMD off the open, it has fallen down here. And now we're just clearing VWAP. So AMD is kind of interesting to me. But again, look at how aggressive these NASDAQ names are to the downside. Like, it's really a slippery slope here, Brendo.
All right, so we're getting a little bit more specific now. They've been going up kind of 5 cents at a time, but we're now into the 67 to 72 range on Roblox, guys. So possibly, we saw that balance coming down a little bit, possibly getting close, guys.
Yeah, let's get there, hopefully. Just got that top break, and the market came back on me there, so I had that retracement on Dash, so I am out of that trade. I might jump back into Dash if I see some more weakness, but I didn't want to turn a winner into a loser. And of course, as the market held up, I mean, you could look for names to bottom pick on. I actually liked like a top break. On a breakout like this time of day, if you like the stock, I usually put some effort into a little bit of a dip in front of like a 67.50, not all the way to VWAP, because you're still mostly scalping at this time. It is 11 o'clock where things tend to slow down, and you have to watch out for 1 p.m. as we're all mentioning here. If we get a hold off of 67.50, I'd add to the position, jump into about the same entry price that we had, or entry shares that we had before, and then look for a push to like 69. So DraftKings, it's up 9-10%, of course. So you have to keep in mind that it could get some profit taking. That's why I don't want to give it all the way back to VWAP. Speaking of giving things back to VWAP, I gave CTX only to that. And of course, it ends up being a bigger win, but that's the style of trade I'm looking for when I take that second short off the high. You stick to your plan. If this continues to hold below 350, watch out for like a 310 break to the downside here. Of course, is held when I was short originally going into the open. 280 was a level. I shorted this 290, was able to get out at 280, took the rest out when it broke 3 for a flat trade. But if it retests, I will take the 310 back into that 280 range on CETX.
I really love this comment here. I never even heard of this before. Oh, crap. Where did it go? Oh, right here. Big Turs. Why is AMC and Jimmy barcoding? I love that. Looks like a barcode here. This is Apple, but Apple also barcoding. I'm going to steal that from you, but at least we give some credit here on the show. So good one there for barcoding. I'm just going to call it up so you guys can know what he means here on this. And this is what it means. It's just back and forth. Like, it looks like basically a barcode there on this. And now AMC, okay, starting to go back up. Remember, it's earnings on AMC, so we'll look at GME as well. I mean, here it is. Yeah, this actually, you could probably scan this on Amazon, and maybe it'll take you to something that you can buy. But right now, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's in such a tight range here. I can't believe that AMC or GME, sorry, both of them up like 17% here, and just like, you know, I call it consolidating, but just, you know, consolidating up here. I don't know. Are they waiting for the next shoe to drop here? I'm not. Really, I don't know. But here's Bitcoin. The one thing I do know is we're about to break day's high on Bitcoin. 56.4 right now, 56.500. I mean, looks like this is from Kraken, I guess. I'm just using CryptoWatch. I find the charts to be pretty good here, especially on a 1 minute. So every charting program will quote a different, or depends on what you choose. But there it is, 56.5 even there. So 56.5, the day's high. We'll see if it can crack that. It looks like it's trying right now on Bitcoin. So if any of you guys are into anything, you could see my favorite is BTCC.B. We talked about that over and over again. I will call up Riot and everything. So this is still hanging out. If it does break, though, watch what happens. You can get this 1071, and then the thing will start to rocket and follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin also barcoding right now. Here's Riot. I don't know how much I'll use that, but that's great for now. Riot blockchain as well, which is kind of surprising. This is why I don't love to trade these names. You're not going to see me in them that much, is because I don't find them a very good leading indicator. I mean, like, why was this at 59.2, and then it touched 53 there, and now we're back up? I just find it really hard. Mara and Riot, they're not really pegged to Bitcoin as much as I feel like they should be if I'm going to use that as a leading indicator, but they're great stocks to trade. Don't get me wrong, but they're not really the Bitcoin sort of leader that I like to follow.
And look, thank you, Alex Murphy, for the super chat, but also look at Sundial. Yeah, why the barcoding? I mean, because this stock gets what it does on a smaller cap name. You look at level 2, you look at level 2 and you can tell anytime you have this kind of liquidity, it's going to be tough to churn through each of these levels. So you will see very, very small moves in tighter ranges. Somebody tell me that this didn't actually, because I'm looking at this print, I'm saying it has to be a dark pool print, this 151, right? Because this is a 147 top. I talked about this, that I like the short in front of it with a reversal potential to the long, but I wanted to wait for, to get in front of it because a penny or two matters on Sundial, so I'd rather get 48s and 49s instead of 47, which clearly seems like the wrong decision for that short trade. So please tell me that actually didn't get to that 150 and I missed my shot on Sundial. It is what it is, but that's a bit painful to suck up. You mentioned that on consolidation on GameStop, Sean, and it's like, to do 17 million shares, mostly above 285, you got to think about how impressive that is from a pure notional value style trade. But I want to give you the real barcoding because just to show you guys something which you've probably never seen before, I'm going to go to a venture stock and you will actually see me from time to time pop into this. I got your barcode right here. Leverage buyout in the venture at 325. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to sit here all day long. I'm going to get in at 319. I'm going to get out at 320. I'm going to get in at 320. I'm going to get out at 319. Thank you very much, Day Trade the World. You will not find a stock that moves less than GTT on the venture today.
No, and we're waiting for Roblox to get open. I just want to talk about Palantir. I got out as it breaks back down below 25. No real reason other than the fact that the market's not doing much right now, and I didn't want to not get out of a 40-cent win, so we did do that. We got out of Palantir right there, a big win. Palantir positive. We're really happy with the way today's trading. And oh yeah, and by the way, like I don't know if I was just the bearer of bad news there, but there, that looks a little bit better. But Bitcoin touches that high and then drops about $300 or $400 straight to the downside. So yeah, we just talked about that. Sorry about that, Bitcoin, but there's no way that I'm influencing that.
Yeah, you did.
Brendan.
Just checking on Genius Brands. Not seeing anything at first glance here, but GNUS. Haven't looked at this one for a while, but I'll keep checking here, guys. But volume coming in. Genius Brands moving.
Yeah, I think someone's right here. I think everyone, I mean, I don't know, Bobby Brown, what's up?
That makes sense.
I was going to say shout out to Whitney, but that's not appropriate because she's not around. Bobby Brown right now. Okay, everything is waiting for, I think you might be right. I don't know about what the fortress means. Can you do that in Roblox? But yeah, I just think that right now, the market, I don't know if everyone's waiting for Roblox, but I do know that obviously it's a big tech name, so I think that there's probably people waiting for Roblox to open up, and right now it doesn't look like it's going to be doing that anytime soon. But Brendan did come with a little bit closer. I think it was what, 68 to 72. So RBLX, this is what it looks like on our screen. This is the halted state. It's not open yet. We don't have a high, we don't have a low, but we do have the reference price right here of $45. Looks like it'll come out at, my guess, I mean, why not just do it at 70 and open this thing? Let's
yeah, I mean,
go.
it still says 67 here. And look, the actual thing that just happened is that that buy imbalance just went down to 1.4. It used to be like 2.6.
Oh, okay, good.
And if everyone's waiting around for that for Roblox, and it's that time of day where things start to slow down a little bit, look, you can overtrade if you want. That's your prerogative, Bobby Brown. But for me, I'd rather be patient. You can be very active at this time of day, but you'd be on your own, in my humble opinion, guys. So it is what it is. We're trying to get those tenderonis. That's as many Bobby Brown references as I can throw in there. If I had more, I'd give them to you. But off the top of my head, I can give you 3. I got that reload on DraftKings. It tested that 67.50, didn't quite get there. Picked up more shares at 80s. Average price works out to 68 even. I will take shares out in front of 69. And then hopefully, if the market rebounds, we're definitely going to like this one for you guys here. And I'm not ignoring GameStop. It's just that it's very, very slowly trying to. It tested 300 a couple of times, and trust me, if you had a 300 stop, you're triggered in here and you get smoked. You had a 300 stop, you're probably triggered in here on a little bit of a wick above it, and then you're smoked again. I'm waiting for 305 because the fresh high is 304, so break 300 definitively, take out 305, and then I would go long in that particular play. DraftKings now in the money, 20 cents. Has to break the quarters. Get back up to 68.50 or so before I take some off, and let's see if we can't get this one running. So you can buy dips and moves like this, and I think this is another thing here. Like Sean and I have been trading a very long time, and our approach is a lot of times on days like this, we'll be doing those dip buys and what we like, but every now and then you can find something which is showing you some strength and buy a top break when the market rebounds. So lots of ways to skin a cat. Of course, no cats were skinned in the making of this program. Got to say that for sure. I don't want you guys getting the wrong idea. But DraftKings looks like it has a good chance of breaking out. Bottom picking worked as well. Thank goodness I didn't get too, I guess, greedy, I should say, on that DoorDash. But either way, if the market rebounds, it's a good thing I covered that short.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing there. The market does rebound, and Palantir, a nice little out there. And then Apple right now, a good out again on the bottom side. Bang, bang, bang. The only thing we did get out there for, I mean, it would have been a much bigger winner if we, I mean, this is when the market started to go and we were long Palantir, so we didn't want to have too much problem there just in case it didn't work out short to long. But now the market's starting to go, in a great call there, on the market moving back and on DraftKings, because it's starting to move. Look at Rocket, man. We talked about that. Let's see if it can get some fuel. We are long through 26, at just below 26.97s there. Our best outs 41s. And I do think, man, that we can go to the upside right now on Rocket. So let's just see if that's the next one to drop here. We have 27.50 to the high side. That already happened yesterday. Like, I have no idea what happened there. Like, the market just sort of, consolidated, and then popped up. I remember trading it, and I had no idea what was going on. So we actually went long through 26 there and was able to catch a little bit of a winner. So let's see if the same thing happens again. All it really needs to do is really test here one more time. 26.40. I think if we can get that test, then we for sure come back to this level, and then it's upside. I didn't even realize this right here. This is 26.70, so we may have to get through that first, but a nice little upside move. And by the way, again, like Bitcoin, bang, bang, right back up. So interesting stuff happening. I'm excited. Let's throw it over. We'll wait for Roblox, and we have our special guest of the day with Brendan.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, the mining sector has become ever so popular once again because of the battery aspect of the market that everyone keeps talking about. We also have gold trying to bounce after a little bit of a pullback from its recent highs. Scott Moore is president and CEO of Eurosun Mining and joins us on the show today, a Canadian-based mineral company operating in Romania. Great to see you, Scott. Thanks for doing this today. We appreciate your time. Let's talk about the company to start things off. For anyone not familiar with Eurosun, let's get a little bit of knowledge, if you will, on Eurosun Mining.
Sure. We're a single mining asset company based on a big asset here in Romania, discovered in 2004. Again, we trade on the TSX, U.S. market, as well as the Frankfurt market. We currently hold 10 million ounces of gold, so this is and 1.5 billion pounds of copper. So this is the second largest undeveloped mining project in Europe at the moment, and about the 14th largest undeveloped in the world. So big, easy project, and certainly trading at an attractive valuation for people to enter at the moment.
Yeah, ESM, if you want to check it out, guys. ESM, the ticker on the TSX here in Toronto. Yeah, Scott is in Romania, joining us all the way from Romania today. Welcome to the show, as I mentioned. Let's talk about the feasibility study for the mine recently completed, Scott.
Sure. Just last week, this is a big de-risking event for any mining project to go through a definitive feasibility study, get actual quotes for mills and mining equipment and such. So the confidence level in both your operating costs and CapEx costs is extremely high. We put out a great study, showing $360 million of NPV and 20% IRR after tax, and, free cash flow of $700 million over the life of the mine. So producing about 146,000 ounces of gold a year for 17 years. So a really great project with really high confidence level in the numbers.
Let's talk about this. Rovina Valley is the mine, or the area of the mine in Romania. Tell us a little bit about the characteristics that the company looks for when starting to develop a site. And then I really want to get into, the development process, because I learned a lot from you when we spoke earlier in regards to how long it takes to actually develop a site and get it to production. But tell us a little bit about what the company is looking for exactly when choosing a location.
Well, Romania, incredible mineral endowment. And certainly when the company made the discovery in 2004 and over the ensuing years as it continued to drill up and during exploration, porphyries are great targets for mining companies to go for. They're big, they're simple. This one in particular is open pittable. So easy mining, easy processing, usually higher CapEx than you might find in a typical gold mine, but being within the European Union in a first world jurisdiction, infrastructure is key to move the project forward. So that makes the project easier and certainly the opportunity to move it forward quicker than you might expect.
So 40% copper, and then the rest, 60% obviously, in the gold market. What are you most excited about when it comes to these minerals coming out of the mine?
Sure, like I said, exactly that split in terms of the life of the mine project. We only make a copper concentrate, so I guess effectively we are a copper company, but with high grade gold. But you have, the growth in battery metals is certainly, everybody's seen that coming. The supply side response to, Dr. Copper, as they like to say, is tough to do. These are big mines normally and tough to ramp up even bigger. And the permitting phases globally are incredibly long, as we can talk about. But this is near-term production, 2024. Delivering, nice new copper concentrate into the market, again, particularly in the European Union, for this growing need of battery metals.
All right, so the average, the global average, when it comes to getting a mine to production from discovery, 15 years. That seems like a very long time, Scott. Tell us what is involved in that process, and I mean right from the first stages through to where we are now.
Sure, and it's all about de-risking, right? Confidence levels are where you have. So you have a discovery, you're drilling some holes, you get some success, you keep drilling, you come up with a resource, an inferred resource, and then you move down the confidence levels or up the confidence levels through measured and indicated to reserves. You start doing engineering studies, you start doing initial permitting around getting whatever exploitation licenses, as it were. And you turn around one day and it's 15 years later. It's an incredibly laborious and long process. It's all about de-risking. Remember, when you drill a drill hole in mining, it's a 2-inch hole, and then you put another one 200 meters away and try to say, the ore body is the same in between. So, we have 150,000 meters of drill core on our project, and some projects are, over 1 million meters of drilling. So this is what happens. It takes a long time to get that confidence level. But de-risking events typically bring higher share valuation. And
it speaks to the confidence that investors can have in the company, that the due diligence has been done on the location before the production does begin. Speaking of confidence from an investor standpoint, let's talk about the corporate structure a little bit of the company. Very well backed.
Yeah, sure. We're probably half-half institutional and retail shareholders. We now have probably 3 of the largest gold funds in the world. In Ruffer, Franklin Templeton, and the Merck Gold Fund, based in the U.S. And this is typical what happens in the development scenario, that specky retail investor that loves to gamble on a drill hole kind of moves on to the next casino, as it were, and developers start picking up institutional shareholders and start getting real long-term shareholders looking at that re-rating ability as you go up that value curve towards an actual production and re-rate. So trading at a higher and higher multiple towards your NPV value as you go forward.
So we'll talk about the stock a little bit as well. We mentioned very, very liquid, tons of volume, tons of opportunities, I think, here, even from a trader standpoint. We showed the chart a little bit earlier. Guys, if you want to check it out, ESM is the ticker on the TSX. Currently, as I mentioned, listed on the TSX. The company is considering, though, an LSE listing over in London. Explain.
Yeah, it's all about getting more eyeballs on the story, right? And a London Stock Exchange listing is Yamana has recently gone over there. Wheaton Precious Metals has gone over there. It accesses new generalist shareholders, like the typical precious metal buyers will be able to buy on most markets, particularly institutional shareholders. But it's an opportunity to give that generalist funds that can only buy LSE listed companies new product, particularly with our project being in the European Union. The familiarity with Romania is much higher with, let's say, potentially with a UK listing versus just the Toronto listing.
Yeah, and I mean, a very exciting time to be in the space, regardless of where the stock is listed, obviously. But as you said, the more eyeballs, the more attention we can put towards this story. It's a great sector to be in. I feel like it's only the beginning when it comes to the battery angle, as we see more and more, companies making electric vehicles and electric, put anything beyond that. So a great time to be getting into the space, and a great time always to be in the gold space. Scott Moore, President and CEO of Eurosun Mining. A pleasure. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Yeah, no, great story there, guys. Brand new, or not brand new, but brand new to production, their Romania site, guys.
Fantastic guest as always, and certainly getting to learn about something new takes a bit of a damper off of what looked like it was going to be a fantastic trade in DraftKings here. But Poodoo, it makes a press back up, and I do get some shares out in front of 68.50 the first quarter. I'm happy with it. I'm like, everything's looking pretty good, and then we roll over. And again, I'm only going to give it back to that little resistance point where we had the dip buy. I don't want this going all the way back into VWAP. If it's going to bounce off VWAP, I can always make another trade, guys. And that's the thing about Day Trader the World or being an active day trader is it's a bit of a different mentality. Whereas, you might have like if you're swinging on a break like this, you might, pull up like a 3 or a 5 or a 15 or longer term chart and then be willing to hold this all the way back to 67 because you think you're making a push to 70 and plus. If that was a style of trade, I'll let you guys know that's what I was thinking. We do that kind of thing every now and then. Square was looking for bigger moves, but for DraftKings, the top end break, it was more of a scalp trade. And I would retest this back at 67 here. Still overall holding these levels on the NASDAQ, so there is a little bit of support getting put in. Tesla, which can be a leading indicator, however, possibly testing that 675, which is the current opening range low on Tesla. Now it was lower in the pre-market, but that 675 was the higher low, 670, it's getting rather close to the bottom here on Tesla, which is also close to turning negative on the session.
Okay. Yeah, so look, it's been a big show, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for the nice comments there in the chat. Some comments for you, Brendan, how well you did there. And look, I mean, mining is going to be a play, right? A lot of gold. They're sitting on their Romania. Some nice ideas. So thank you so much to our special guest of the day right there as well. We got lucky. Roblox didn't open. It's not lucky. It's lucky because I'd love to show it to you. But right now, absolutely nothing on Roblox as we wait for it to open and come to market. And when that happens, we'll be on that and we'll see where it goes from here. I'm really proud of getting out of Apple there on that drop down because it's just doing nothing. It's barcoding. Shout out to our viewer that mentioned that as well. And then here we go again. I'm trying to hold this. I'm light, man. I have 10% of this position left on Rocket. We're seeing if it does take off. I think it's worth holding a little bit. Like I have some shares obviously in my account as well, just to see if this thing does do something here. And I don't know. We'll get out if it breaks down below this bottom 25.50. But it's been a good day for us. And then here's my last Palantir trade. And again, it looks like a pretty good out there, 25.21 or so on that break back downside. We thought it was going to break, and it does finally there, and gives us a retracement back to this bottom. So, you know what? I mean, what time is it? It's only 11:25. I was going to say, like, that's not a bad spot there. I was actually waiting down here again just to get it because right now I'm excited for Roblox. I didn't want to really take on too much risk here, so we waited to get the ultimate price, and we missed it. But so far, so good today, man. Apple, AMC, GE, Palantir, and Rocket. We kept it real petite on the number of names, but grande on some of the wins. What's up, Brandon?
Yeah, we were, I mean, it's still, not going to happen. It looks like, unfortunately, guys, a couple of minutes left here. We're really wanted this to happen. Roblox, I'm speaking of, obviously, but stick around. Do not go anywhere. We're going to do a trade review. I keep looking down just to make sure it's not opening. We're going to do a trade review right after the show, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about Palantir, so I can throw this up and we'll have a look. Yeah, Sean's going to walk you through his Palantir trade from today. I feel like we should, though, guys, maybe find some time, maybe later in the afternoon, and review this Roblox opening as well, guys.
Or if it opens up while we're doing that review, like, let's be real, it's going to be live. When we go to that trade review, we do it for you guys live, and the market will still be happening. Nature called when 305 broke on GameStop, and it can go both ways here. If it's a scalp trade, that probably saved me a little bit of money. It gave you $1 and retraced. But if you held on to it, it tested 310. There was a big offer, well, not a huge offer, but there was a somewhat significant offer at that 310, at least relatively speaking. If it goes there again, I mean, it could be a secondary push. But I think the reason for the retracement was it saw, like, a couple 100,000 shares, about 500,000 shares, 50,000 or so, maybe more than that on the offer, and did a bit of a turn. So GameStop, I mean, unbelievable strength. And one of the signs that you can see, and why I was looking for breakouts, it's like Sean said, when you consolidate this high, and we're like, consolidating at 290 on a stock that was just basing out at 40 bucks. I don't care what the news is or what you think of Steve Cohen. That is just, that's damn impressive when you talk about the type of volume, 20 million on the session happening at those prices. And that's a big time sign of strength anytime you see that. And of course, you're seeing it press higher. Only a couple of minutes left. Wow, there's a big earnings board as well, so a lot to get to. Let's go to Brendan.
Yeah, quickly, we talked about AMC already, but a few other ones on here, guys, that may be worth a look. This is, again, coming up after market tonight or before the open tomorrow.
Love how Miss V puts right in the middle there, the biggest one. So thank you for that, Miss V. Oracle is there. That Oracle's been really strong, actually, into some of this weakness. So that's something to look at. I don't know what Tattooed Chef is. Lending Club. I mean, I don't know. Oh, Asana. That's another direct listing. Bottom right. That was a direct listing as well. And Fossil always seems to have a lot of stuff happening to it. So, yeah. I don't know, Neil, anything there for you?
So Oracle's on one of those, and I think it should be on like that shopping list for dip buys. And sometimes earnings give you those catalysts because you can see like 10% swings on earnings. So, I'm going to be having a look at Oracle, a couple levels here. Obviously, that's 70. But look, if anytime Oracle retraces, if it gives you a 5% retracement, anything close to like that 67, 68, I'm looking to get into this name, which I have not done. Oddly enough, I used to absolutely love Oracle back in the day because of all the acquisitions that they would do. They were that kind of a big time player. It's usually, and we're going to go to our national day here before we get out of here. It looks like Roblox is not going to open up, but these are always a heck of a lot of fun. I'm very hungry, and I couldn't eat this one, but it's very, very topical, oddly enough, given that it's Roblox Day. Let's find out what it is, Miss V.
Yeah, Neil, I knew you're gonna love it. Guys, thank you very much for trading with us this morning. Please, if you didn't like this video, do it right now and double check if you subscribed to our channel. Also, guys, don't go anywhere, as right after the show, Sean will review his Palantir trade live. Have a great rest of the day. We will see you tomorrow, and happy National Mario Day, everyone.
Huh? I thought Neil said he was hungry.
No, I said I was hungry, but this isn't one of those. But it's topical. So I'll power up because, if you can't figure it out, Roblox is a game. Super Mario is a granddaddy of, I guess, some video games here. So it is what it is. We're going right into that live trade review from Sean. You do not want to miss this man trade Palantir and go over his trade. Of course, you saw him trade it already. So for the entire team here, for Ms. V, doing a great job as always. Oh my gosh,
I did that pizza because
I'd kill for pizza.
Nintendo, Super Mario. I got some Italian love there. I'm throwing you a pizza, or you're throwing it to me. Who's throwing the pizza here?
Pizza. You're throwing it.
Bang! Nice catch.
That's not a bad catch at all. Thank you, Rob, for that
60
one.
60 cents now. Let's go, Roblox. Join us for the trade review. Neil, take it away, and I'm going to go do this review.
Down the line review coming from my man Sean Cantina. Brennan Wickens, awesome job in the interviews, like he always does. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trade TV Live. Now I'm really hungry, Sean. Thank you. We'll see you in a few seconds for the trade review. Bye, guys.